What's going on, everybody? My name is DJ Mel.
This is DJ Honeycomb.
And you're listening to the Sound of First podcast. Coming to you from the beautiful podcast studios here at Waterloo Records. What's going on, Rachel?
You know, right before we hit record, we were talking about birds. And I remember a thing about crows. I love crows. Being from the West Coast, I saw them a lot. I don't really see them a lot here in Austin, but they are beyond the mockingbird in terms of mimicking sounds. They mimic not only other birds, but they mimic machinery, and they also mimic human phrasing.
Yeah. There was a guy that I followed online for a while, and somehow he got lost in the algorithm.
Sure.
But he owned like a raven or a crow, whatever.
Yeah.
And the dude would be sitting on his lap, and the crow or the raven or whatever it was, the blackbird was just like too smart for its own good.
Yeah. I mean, there was this guy, I think he was on NPR years ago. It was an interview. He sat down and he, in his backyard, he had these huge trees, and he saw the crows in the trees, and he had started to really listen in an acute way where he started to decipher some of the phrasing that they would communicate to their partners, because I think they have a partner for life.
Must be nice. Must be fucking nice.
Another conversation for another time. But not only do crows, warn their partners about like food or not warn, but like information about like where there's food. Also warning like there's other birds coming in like hawks. Also showing almost kind of human type of emotions, like through their gurgling. Gurgling means that they're happy, they're kind of content.
No, totally.
And
I mean,
being frustrated. There's also another call for that. So this guy was starting to hear. He had an ear for it. All these sound effects that these crows were speaking, vocalization, and it was a really fascinating interview. And I'm just like, wow, he's like kind of decoded, like all this stuff, almost like military style.
Yeah, it's borderline. At least, okay. Take whatever I say with a grain of salt, bucket of salt. But it could be borderline creepy. I think there was a character in Twin Peaks where this crow becomes really obsessed with one of the female characters. It's like creepy, like pervy creepy.
Well, I don't know that reference.
Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting how birds can mimic things. We were talking about blue jays before we hit the record button.
Yeah.
Blue jays are loud birds, right? They're kind of rowdy birds. And if you follow me online, you know that I'm a big bird person, and I'm into birding and bird photography, all that kind of stuff. But anyways, a blue jay will mock a hawk just to scare off everybody.
Nice.
So they can if they see like a bird feeder, like, all right, get the hell out of my way. Mm-hmm. There's a hawk, but I'm not really a hawk, and I'm going to hoard all this food. It's really, really cool. God, I forgot what I was going to say. I've been thinking about jingles lately. Okay, so, we're all like 80s kids, and so, we all grew up on jingles.
Yep.
Like Have a Coke and a Smile. And, I mean, dude, if you guys can think of one, let me know. But maybe in the past 10, 15 years, there hasn't been... like this jingle that you hear everywhere that everyone knows. I don't. The only one I could think of is Nationwide on Your Side.
Yeah.
That we were talking about this with Scott. From GSD&M and advertising. The latest one was the Dr. Pepper thing, where the gal was singing, "Hey, I have an idea for Dr. Pepper. You guys should really pick up on this." And she just sang this, little chorus, if you will, and it just took off.
Yep.
And next thing you know, I'm watching the national championship game on TV, and boom.
Yep.
It's on a Dr. Pepper commercial.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
But
there's no jingles. I mean, there's like maybe current jingles that I think are popping off are the Ozempic joint.
How does that one go?
Yeah, dude, I know. No, I'm serious, dog.
Dun, 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 dun. No, that's the other one.
Dude, it's a
Dragnet.
I know the song and I play it all the time. Let me think. Magic 70s track. Well, who's the artist that does that again?
Ozempic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is it that one? Or did I just make
It's
that up?
not.
And get
Yeah,
that
the
mixed
band
up?
is called
You know
Pilot.
it.
Yeah. So it's like,
No.
Ozempic,
Oh my
you
God.
know, time to lose weight, let's go. It's some shit like that, right? I'm like, that is like the only current jingle.
What about the McDonald's? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, there's
loving
that.
it. Or whatever.
Which I believe Pharrell produced, right? I
Did
think
he?
Pharrell produced that.
That sounds
Yeah.
like him.
Yeah.
Sounds like
So,
Well, they're scrapping. There's a whole thing now about TV series. They don't have a song anymore.
yeah, that's the other thing.
Moving on up.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
theme
it's just
songs.
like there's no theme songs for TV shows. That used to be a thing. Golden Girls.
Yeah.
I mean everything. Three's Company. Like
I was hooked on, a few years ago. I was
MASH.
really just kind of, right. I was obsessed with Yellowstone,
okay.
which was like it was just like this crazy. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
like
people-
it was really
that-
popular.
it was
And-
bonkers,
And
yeah.
the reason why I got hooked is like I was sitting in a hotel room in Manchester, Tennessee, at Bonnaroo, and it was raining, and we were stuck in our hotels,
Sure.
waiting to like announce whether or not we were going to have the festival. So all
Yeah.
I could do was sit there and watch TV for a few days. And so I started binge watching Yellowstone.
Okay.
But I can't remember the song. I don't even know if they have any music at the beginning of it.
I know. I don't think a lot
Right?
of shows have music.
It's
I,
not,
I don't
you
know
know.
if it's a budget thing or if they just I don't know.
Or
what it
even
is.
just movies. Like, I mean, when you think about John Williams now, I mean, dude was running it.
I know.
And just incredibly impactful as far as theme music. Star Wars,
Yep.
E.T., Raiders of the Lost Ark, you name it. I
Yep.
mean, I'm probably forgetting a bunch
Did
of
you
them,
do
but
Jaws?
I think he did.
So simple, but it was very profound. Like, oh my god, I'm freaking out.
Jaws is ill, dude. I love that movie.
Speaking of jingles,
Yeah, right. Well, let's do that. Okay, mind you, I'm spaced out right now. I just got a haircut. Maybe I'm lightheaded from that or whatever. But it's a perfect time to introduce this episode's guest, the one and only DJ NickNack.
Woohoo!
thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, he.
I'm honored.
For those listening right now, he is the one that produced our theme music at the beginning and the end of this podcast.
That's right. A lost art, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Jeez.
Nick is has been based in Austin since the 90s. An amazing DJ, turntablist, also a very, very accomplished producer, music producer. And he's a really good example of, to kind of quote Bavu Blake's hip hop growing up, right? And just, we're all grown ups now, and, that we all kind of were around each other around the time when, hip hop was huge. I mean, it's still huge, but, back then, in the 90s, the energy was different. You know what I mean? We were younger and we were just wilding out and being stupid.
Yeah.
And
There was
just
a gravitas for sure.
just trying to figure out ourselves
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. And it was a really good time. And so it's an honor and a privilege to have Nick here. I thought I would never get
I know.
Nick here because he's a very busy guy. I mean,
Thanks
it's not
for
like
having me,
me.
seriously.
No, seriously. Like for me, I have a lot of free time. And you guys are responsible
Shouldn't say
adults.
that too out loud.
I'm kidding. I'm exaggerating. I'm pretty.
Oh, he responded to me.
I'm pretty busy as well, but not like busy like you guys. You guys are both
You're busy.
married.
You just don't have like a normal sort of schedule that, or I say normal, but like a sort of 9 to 5 type of a. You're busy though.
Yeah,
I've hit you
I
up
mean-
a lot, and you're like, I'm out of town.
You
I'm
got
doing something.
a job outside of music. I got a job outside of
Yeah.
music.
Yeah,
so
I
we
mean,
got that to manage.
That's
You have a significant other,
Yeah.
and you're both married. Nick, you have a kid.
I have a kid.
Shout out to Esme, and and here we are. So I'm really grateful to have you here. Nick
glad
has
to
a
be here.
What's up?
I said glad to be here, man. Honored that
I'm
y'all
glad you
asked me
are,
to be.
dog.
Yeah.
I'm glad you are. But Bill, Nick has a Bills record shirt, which is, for those of you who are not from Texas or not familiar with Dallas or whatever, Bills is a very, very legendary, famous record store. And the owner's name was Bill. And my first experience with Bill's Records was in the 90s. And I did not know, walking in there, I knew nothing about it. And it was just you walked in and it was pure chaos. I mean, there was just music and like
stuff
promo
everywhere.
Yeah, like music paraphernalia everywhere, just records everywhere, just everything everywhere. And then you go to the DJ side, and it was even crazier. There was all records everywhere. There was like
it was almost like an estate sale, constantly.
Like a hoarding situation.
Maybe. Yeah.
It was wild.
I think I bought my first ever. I bought a Metallica back patch there when I was like, I don't know, whenever Ride Injustice for All. I think that was the back patch I had, and whenever Jean Jacket back patches were a thing.
Yeah,
and then I got like a when artists have their photograph and it's like, I don't even know who it was, but it was like Guns N' Roses or something.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff he would have. It's just like a box of random crap.
Everything.
In addition to vinyl everywhere,
Yeah, and all the and being a major music retailer in Dallas, probably the most biggest record store in Dallas. Of course, all the major music distributors were courting him to bring in their product into the store. So he had like all the promo items, posters, stickers.
That's what I'm referring to. Yeah,
T-shirts and whatever. Back to my first experience walking in on the DJ side of things. There's the counter where you go. Well, you have to go to Bill to pay for things. But anyways, that's another thing.
That's
we'll talk.
Story,
We'll touch on in a minute. But there's like a bunch of like local DJs behind this counter, and behind them they had all the old school like DMC mixers.
Oh yeah.
My ass was broke, Like I remember seeing that going. I was just like wide-eyed seeing these DMC mixers. Like there's no way I could afford that.
Man, that right there, that location type, that's the first time I met Baby G.
Yeah, he was behind the counter.
I have a funny story. I don't want to interrupt your...
No, totally.
But
Go ahead.
I think it was that time. So you basically would bring, kind of like how Waterloo had the listening stations. You remember? I believe they had, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of turntables there.
Yep.
And I also think you could, G or whoever was DJing was playing through the, the house or whatever.
Cool.
And I remember bringing a record and trying to get the record out of the sleeve, and it was a concrete floor like this, and and the record dropped and just. I was like, oh shit. yeah. I was like, oop, I guess I'm buying this one, But that was like right when I first met Baby G. Yeah. I mean, of course, legend, right? Like heard him on the radio and DMC, legendary, right? But to see him and meet him there was like.
In person.
It was incredible. Yeah.
In person.
Yeah.
So, probably like you, Nick, I walked in there and I didn't buy I didn't even buy like a 12-inch or a hip hop record. I'm like, I was with my best friend, and, he got me into like Spaceman 3, and it's definitely on some bugged out, spaced out, stoner type stuff. And I wanted to buy this record called Dream. I wanted to buy this CD called Dream Weapon by Spaceman 3. Mm-hmm. And so I find it, that took a while because, it's kind of like this organized chaos.
How the hell did you find
I know, it was organized chaos.
That involved asking Bill,
Yeah, it was organized chaos, and somehow I found it, and I walked up to the counter, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not knowing how it works at that store.
Here we go. Yeah.
And, you can, expand on this, but I walked up and handed him the Spaceman 3 CD. And Bill, he's behind the counter chain smoking, and he just kind of
That's the other thing. That's an understatement. I mean...
He was
his fingers were yellow, like his nails were like yellow.
Sounded like Barry White,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he
was.
So he looked at me and sized me up. I handed him the Spaceman 3 CDs. It's a Spaceman 3 CD, and he just looks at me, from head to toe, and he's like, $50. I'm like, what?
So he didn't like you.
I'm like, all right, I guess he's not into me.
What year was this?
94, 95.
So that's like $500 in today's money.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But that's exactly how it happened, right? I mean, you'd go up there with a stack of whatever it was, right? And yeah, the first time you go, you really have no idea. You kind of have to ask somebody, like, where are the prices on this stuff? I mean, that's the first thing you notice. There's no prices anywhere. And so it's like, it really is
no prices on anything.
I say at the beginning, I said it was kind of like an estate sale, but that's just what it looks like. At least estate sales have like colored things, like this is $1, this is $5, whatever.
Yeah.
None of that. And so you're kind of like, okay, you bring whatever you bring up there, and yeah, that's what he kind of looks at you, and decides the price right there, you know, and it can change based on his
Sure.
mood, based on
How old
maybe
was
who
he?
you're with, you know.
I mean, what did he look like? Did he look like he was older?
He wasn't like he wasn't like super old. I would say in the 90s, the time frame we're talking about, he may have been. Of course, with him chain smoking, he probably was like looked 10 years older than he really was.
He's
He was
probably
maybe 55, 60 at that point. Maybe?
Yeah, I think
60-ish.
so.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe,
You know, gray hair, kind of balding.
Yeah.
maybe at the
Wow.
youngest, maybe late 40s, maybe.
It's hard to tell with, you know,
Smoking.
Dude, he was like-
can age you a lot.
Yeah,
So-
and like
a decade.
mind
Yeah.
you, he's smoking in the store.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, reminded me of my grandmother actually. On my mom's side, we'd go over to her house and she'd be cooking breakfast with with an ash hanging out, and you're like, And
Did she have a raspy voice?
you know what's funny is she passed away when I was pretty young.
I'm
So
sorry.
I think so. The one thing I remember is that, and then also like when she passed away and we cleaned just like all of the yellow on the walls, and like you
Yes.
took this off the wall, you'd see like
The tar.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I can't imagine what Bill's was like because
Oh.
I mean, he was just probably like a carton a day.
Right.
It seems like. I mean, he was
Yeah.
he was a lot.
Wow.
What's interesting about Bill's, compared to other record stores, I mean, you're not walking out of there empty-handed. I mean, because
Right.
there's not, I mean, you go in there and you're always going to find heat, regardless if it's a record or a CD or like this promo-only poster or T-shirt or sticker or whatever. Here, Waterloo, dude, the selection is wide. You know what I mean? And there's almost every, if whatever you're into, you'll find it here at the store. But at Bill's, it was like you were saying, like an estate. So like, imagine someone who was totally tapped into the music industry for decades. And the labels were just sending him all sorts of stuff. Like
I think in addition to that, sorry to interrupt you,
Yeah.
is I believe that he would also come into like large collections of whether it be a DJ moving or
that's true.
something.
That's true.
And so you'd get a lot of like used records that were crazy.
That's
So in
true.
addition to the new stuff, like you're saying,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt.
No,
but
no, he would get everything, all the hip hop stuff, all the alt rock stuff, just everything, all the promo stuff, because, for this region of the United States,
he was a guy.
all the record labels like BMG and WEA and I think Sony Music, they had offices in Dallas.
Right.
So they would. They would probably drive over there. Yeah, we're gonna go to Bill's real quick.
That's a good point.
We got a new.
It's kind of like maybe the Dallas version of like Soundwaves, but like not like on a. I don't know if Soundwaves was a chain, but they had multiple locations, right? Like South Main and Montrose, I believe, and maybe a couple other. But yeah, to your point, it's funny because my buddy Russell has stories. He worked like you, Mel, at Waterloo. He worked at Soundwaves, and he's got some stories about some of those promo local cats, like the rap-a-lot cats, like a Willie D having like a full cardboard cutout of Willie D that they'd put in the store, that you really would only get if you were kind of, to Mel's point, like in, what I mean, in the Houston area, having a retail spot. So Bill's, I think, to your point, got a lot of that unique stuff because of that, So I imagine like cats like Nemesis and Ron C and those cats were probably dropping off stuff there, for him to. Yeah, there was all sorts of stuff, man.
It was just, for a lack of a better word to describe it, or I mean, it was just an experience. Sure. You go in there like it's literally you're so overwhelmed.
Did you see when you just brought me back to like in New York, like at Katz's Deli and these places, you'll see like, Wu-Tang with like a picture of like the owner and signed and stuff. They had the same thing at Bill's, right? Do you remember seeing that like on that wall in that sort of DJ room? It would be like whoever was on tour would also come through there.
Yes.
There was like a Wu-Tang. I know there was a Wu-Tang one picture in there that was signed, and there was so much of that uniqueness,
So you were shopping for vinyl at that time? Okay. And how old were you? Like, when was that? What was like?
Well,
your
the
age
first
range?
time I went to Bill's, I wasn't shopping for vinyl. I was very young. So the time that I mentioned with the And Justice for All back patch and all that, that was probably in middle school for me. So we're talking probably late 80s, maybe like early 90s, which was a little bit, they didn't have the DJ room at that time.
No, not yet.
But when I started DJing and went there, that was like the place. It was there, or we actually used to go to Vicon Village, which there was a couple of vendors there that would have, it's kind of like a flea market, you know?
Yeah.
And record stores, or I don't know if it was like an individual, but there was 2 or 3 cats that would have records there. And so that's kind of some of the places I got my first records from. Yeah.
Were you buying cassettes before that, or CDs?
CDs, really. And yeah, cassettes. I have a lot of cassettes. I still have those wooden cassette holders with the things, and I mounted those. Nice. What's funny is quick side story. I mounted those in my studio. I was so proud of myself. I measured it out, and then you know how anal I am with that. It's all perfect looking, and then
I know.
I turn on my subwoofer in the studio, which I don't really use, but you know, my wife and kid were gone, and I was like, I'm jamming out, and that freaking thing was just like, brr, brr, oh really? And I'm like, oh my god, why did I put it on the wall? That's like
right there.
You know, so I might
so
have
it didn't knock any of the cassettes down, right?
Well, I didn't test it, but yeah, it might, you know. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. I mean, you know the sound I'm talking about. Those things are like, you know, so you just sit there and rub the cassettes, you can hear the sound, you know. So.
Oh, for sure. No, I that plasticky material the cassettes would be made of, like the shell.
Yeah.
There would just be something that I would just, there was something tactile about it, like the corners, and then it would close, and it was just like, cassettes were fun. Like, as kids.
Yeah. You know what's fun? Do y'all remember the? Of course, y'all do remember this, but what did they call them? And when they used to, when I first started buying CDs, they had them in the they had the security things.
Yeah, the long boxes.
The long boxes.
Yep.
Yeah. Man, me and my homeboy 0.5, we used to, and I probably shouldn't say this, but we would go to like, what is that, Sound Warehouse, I think it was, and we'd skip our Sunday school and go there, and we'd like walk across the highway and like steal. We'd wear these big starter jackets and like.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
There was no security on those things. It was just a cardboard box, and you'd open it, and you just put the blank thing back on the shelf, and you'd have the CD, you know. So that was kind of my first foray into CDs was actually not buying them because I didn't have any money. I was
nobody had money back then.
Yeah.
So I guess it seems like
today,
kid,
you know what I mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a rite of passage to jack shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, my starter jacket I cut a hole out of it, and it was like more of the trench coat ones. It was deep, man. I filled that thing up just walking out of the store.
Yo, you were crafty, dude.
Shout out to 0.5. Yeah, that's
Was the first album that you bought, whether it was a tape, CD, or vinyl, was that like stolen or with your own money, allowance money? And do you remember what it was?
I would say the first one that's memorable that I don't believe I got, but was probably purchased by my parents was probably something around a soundtrack. You know, I can't really pinpoint it, but like,
yeah, those were popular.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was like, I seem to recall like Bobby Brown. Didn't he have something to do with the Ghostbusters, something or other? And so maybe there was like some of that.
I think the song's called "We Are on Our Own" or something like that.
Yeah, so maybe I had a Ghostbusters cassette. I don't have it anymore, but like and then I probably had that. I don't know. There was another movie that was like a Western movie that was popular in the sort of late '80s. I don't remember.
Was it Wild Wild West?
Maybe that's what it was.
It wasn't Back to the Future 3.
No. Was it?
That's awesome. That would be great. It wasn't. No, that would be awesome.
It was Wild Wild. Was it? It was like that Will Smith Wild West
maybe
movie.
It was.
Right?
There was like the songs that were on there. I think were
was it Rappin' Duke or some shit?
No, it wasn't. Yeah, no.
Remember that joint?
Yeah, the Rappin' Duke, the ha.
That was like probably the first country rap song. You know what I mean?
So the soundtrack was they bought it for you to listen to. Like,
yeah, like I think it was. You know what's funny is I think back to it because like right now I'm sure y'all know about this. I mean I don't know who wouldn't at this point, but I remember this past summer my daughter's like watching this Netflix thing K-pop Demon Hunters, and I'm like, so she's like, I mean she knows every single she's not buying a CD, we're just listening to it digitally, but that it was that same kind of thing at about that same age. It was like whatever was on the TV kind of influenced me to want to get the soundtrack, you know. So
yeah, we talked about another podcast how soundtracks were like a pretty profound thing to buy.
Yes.
Yeah, it was an album.
Yes, and when we talked about it, and then I kind of reflected on that conversation that we had about soundtracks. We kind of just glossed over it. You know what I mean? We were just like, we just mentioned all the obvious bangers, and then I had more time to think about it after the conversation. like the Judgment Night soundtrack.
Dude, like Breakfast Club, right?
Yeah. Well, we mentioned that, but
that's a freaking. I mean, I just bought that actually at Sig's in Houston.
Yeah.
Like, that. Oh my God, man! Isn't there? There's a. What's on that? There's a song on there that's not even on an album. That the only place you can get it is on that, and it's like a. I'm totally tripping.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyhow, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah.
No, I probably own it, and I don't even know.
Well, knowing you probably got, it's in the garage. You got doubles or something.
I know, the simple. What is it?
That's
Simple
it.
Minds. The Simple
That's
Minds
it.
song.
That's literally it.
Yep.
Really?
I was going to say Tears for Fears or Simple Minds, but yeah.
It's Simple Minds.
It's the Simple Minds track?
I believe that's it. It's that it only came out for that.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about soundtracks and how we just kind of glossed over because we were talking about all the obvious bangers like Back to the Future soundtrack, Top Gun soundtrack, all that kind of stuff.
Top Gun, that's one that I owned because my dad was a pilot, so like we were, but yeah, it was big.
Yeah,
big. I mean, yeah, for sure, man.
Massive.
As soon as that came out, I got that soundtrack.
But
Danger Zone.
Yeah, exactly. Hell yeah, man, I'm gonna hop on my Ninja, dude. Dude, like we're gonna have this guy.
I went to the
we're gonna have this guy on the podcast soon. But dude, this was like 04, 05. Like I'm driving on the east side. Okay,
someone's jamming that,
and there was this dude on a Ninja,
get the fuck
wearing like these Oakley like blade type joints. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like a total throwback to the 80s. Guess who it was? It was Bobby Dixon. I think it was.
No.
Yeah, I need to ask about that.
Yo,
Maybe
shout out to Bobby. I have the complete Filipino food poster series now hanging up on our wall. So I got the lumpia one, halo halo, and the sinigang one.
Yeah, we're gonna have him. I think next week, or I believe next week.
I love that dude.
Yeah, dude, he's the shit.
Super talented man.
But back to the soundtracks. Like I started thinking about the Judgment Night soundtrack. Where like hip hop and rock collided, right?
Yeah.
With Helmet and House of Pain on there.
Yeah.
The De La Soul Teenage Fan Club joint, right?
Dude, you just reminded me. What was that? Anthrax and Public Enemy. That was like a big song. That song is.
Was it?
Speaking of things colliding, but in a kind of a. I remember that one not being bad, or am I remembering that?
No, it wasn't bad at all. Like the Biohazard Onyx joint.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
Biohazard and Onyx.
Judgment Night. They're all like, you know how Onyx is.
It sounds like a WrestleMania.
They're just yelling. And then the Menace to Society soundtrack.
Oh my God. Hold on. That timeout.
Right.
I literally just started listening to that again. And that was probably the first soundtrack when I started driving. So I started driving in 93.
Okay.
And that soundtrack, I believe, came out in 92. And so I, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 93. But actually, I think Baby G was a part of me hearing that for the first time because Pocket Full of Stones was,
Oh, wasn't it? It was on the soundtrack.
It was debuted on that, and they played the living shit out of that on 100.3 Jams, and I believe it was in Dallas. Nice. And I remember just being like, what is this? And so when that movie came out, or maybe the soundtrack may have even come out at the same time the movie did, but like, dude, the Spice One. I mean, there's so many joints on that. Like listening to it now, I mean, I could never like jam it with my daughter. So it's kind of like I drop her off at school and then I'm like straight to, The Trigger's Got No Heart or whatever it is by Spice One, It's like, it's a great soundtrack. It really is,
a fantastic soundtrack. And I actually watched, the movie twice in the past week because that movie has aged very well.
Okay,
yeah.
Good to know.
I need to watch it, but I saw a
too.
thing on Instagram with the main character still owns that Mustang 5.0 with the Daytons on it. He still owns that thing.
Nice.
Yeah, and
no rust.
That car was like, oh my God, that was so cool.
Do you remember like at the very beginning of the movie when the lead character Kane, like
that's the one, right, with the Mustang?
Yeah, Kane, with the Mustang, where they go to this house party, right? And then they hang out for a while, and that scene is where they introduce all the characters of the movies, like with like MC8 or whatever. But anyways, when they're leaving, he goes to this party. Kane goes with his cousin, right? And his cousin's like driving this like BMW. It was So anyways, and then they leave the party, and his cousin gets blasted, right? They get jacked at an intersection.
Yep, I remember that part.
Right. That guy who gets blasted in the intersection is Saphir.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hobo Junction.
Hobo Junction.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is well, yeah, dude. So that's so ironic, man. Shout out to Rob Victim. He just texted me and was like, "Hey, he's working on a project with Casual."
Oh, okay.
And he's like, "You want to do the cuts on it?" And I'm like, "Well, you know my situation in my house. I still don't have my shit hooked up." And he's like, "Dude, what?" I'm like, I told him, I was like, "Man, I guess I could be like, doing an Evil D and DJing on the ground, with my feet up in the air or something." But yeah, anyways, just remind that's it was Casual in Saphir, right? That was the legendary.
It was like the beef, Hobo Junction and
that's
Pyro,
what I'm saying,
right?
but it was specifically the two of them, yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember.
Yeah, that's the only reason why. Hopefully I'm not wrong on that, but man, Saphir was insane, so talented.
Yeah, and that movie, that movie has aged very well. My favorite character in the movie is O-Dog. Oh, also Too Short's in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, O-Dog is my favorite character. I've realized that every person needs to have an O-Dog in their life, like a ride or die friend. O-Dog is a menace.
You know what other movie is badass along those lines, man? With the really good characters is Juice.
Yeah.
And, the soundtrack is also pretty incredible.
Oh, dude, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like
Above the Rim. That's another one.
Yeah, that's another one.
Did you guys ever have like the suitcase with? Then you open it up, it was like cassettes. Like it was like a suitcase.
Oh yeah,
like a
I didn't have one, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
It had like a gold buckle on the top. You just snap or something like that. Yeah, I mean, you guys remember?
That's when you were balling, when you had a suitcase of tapes.
My maternal grandfather was an audiophile, so it had to be the best stylus and the best turntables.
Nice.
But it was in that big side table thing that like concealed everything, like in the 50s and 60s. That was the design. The speakers would be built into the grid fabric, and so you would just slide the top, and you'd see the turntable and the stylus. And
you know what's interesting is I at a couple houses ago, the one in Travis Heights, I had designed a DJ cabinet that was inspired by that.
Yeah.
That had what's called a timbre door is what that's called. And it's nice little slits of wood. And then you have like a duck cloth backing, and it kind of can go over like that. And it's like,
yeah.
It was always weird though, because it was in the living room.
Yeah.
So you walk into the house and then it's like, hold on while I DJ facing the fucking wall and you watch my butt. You know what I mean? You remember the house?
Oh no, totally. I think it was really cool though.
It looked cool, but it wasn't very functional. You know what I mean? And I got kind of carried away with the
you did.
the aesthetic on it. You know what I mean? But you just that was the thing. It was the inspiration was exactly that.
I mean, I think the soundtracks that I remember growing up as a kid was strangely Lesson Zero. My dad had that.
Okay.
Soundtrack.
Yeah.
That's LL Cool J was.
Yeah, going back to Cali, Bring the Noise was on there.
Yeah.
Danzig is on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Purple Rain. That's how I got to know the time.
Yeah, front to back.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's the time? I gotta get. Was it Ice Cream Castles?
Yeah.
Yo, Nick, like that guy with the beard looks familiar.
Is that Mez?
Is that Mez?
No way, that's Mez. Is that?
Yeah, I hope he doesn't try to walk in.
Dude, can they see us too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is my daughter was talking about something in her art class. She's like, yeah, we're drawing this thing with like these little drips, Dad, like you do when you draw like logos.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, little drips. And I go, let me show you graffiti. And I was like, there's this dude, Mez Data. And she's like, is his last name really Data? And I go, no, that's not his real name, But it's like I'm telling an 8-year-old,
question, yeah.
And so that's what the first thing she said. And she's like, is that him? And then now her favorite thing to ask me is he still alive? Because and I'm like, damn, I'm getting to the point where I'm showing her people that, and I'm like, yeah, he's still alive. I'll tell her I just saw Mez Data hanging out at Waterloo.
Wow. I mean, do you influence or try to influence your daughter in some music stuff? Because obviously Lesson Zero was like a little bit too mature when I saw that cassette in my household, and that was my dad's thing.
Yeah.
But it did introduce me to these artists, the types of approaches for music. Is there anything other than the K-pop, or how do you manage?
Yeah, I would say what's interesting is that I thought about how I got influenced to be kind of who I am. And it wasn't really through my parents like sitting down and like curating something for me. I do that sometimes when I feel passionate about something. I'll kind of dive in, but I think it's not like an intentional attempt to influence. It's more like she sees me by myself, or with my wife. And, you know, my favorite thing to do is kind of drum when I'm driving. And she's like, Dad, you're always drumming. And so she now, I mean, honestly, like, I'm trying to think of a good example.
You mentioned 80s music.
Yeah. Eye in the Sky.
That was your thing, yeah.
Like, for some reason, I just was kind of going through my collection, and that record stood out. Like, you know, it's got the Egyptian eye, you know, it's the gold leaf.
So Alan Parsons.
Yeah, Alan Parsons.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't give that. Sorry, I didn't give the context. And that's kind of the most recent one. And I'm like, man, the craftsmanship on this vinyl and just the design is just pretty cool. And then the mixing and mastering of it is incredible, you know. And then, of course, the Chicago Bulls, the theme song right before that song, you know, it's like, I think maybe track 2 on the album or something. And then track 3 is Eye in the Sky. Anyways, so I'll play her stuff like that and I'll just be into it. And then she memorizes the stuff like on the way to school. And so she knows that song front to back. So is that guy still alive? And I'm like, well, not the guy singing, but so you know, funny. and then we, you know, we go down the rabbit hole of like researching and stuff. So she gets into it kind of through watching me have fun with music, you know.
That's great. Yeah.
And so I got to be careful because I really could have fun with like, again, Spice One, a huge Spice One fan, but it's not really, or like UGK. I can't like throw on Murder with my 8-year-old, you know, she probably wouldn't get it, you know.
She's like, what's going on here?
Right. But yeah.
Have you ever flubbed up and just played something and she's like, what
all the time.
Yeah.
I curse like a sailor, and luckily I think that it's I don't even have to tell her anymore, like, you know, that what's that saying, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
I don't really even have to say that. She just knows.
Yeah.
But I really also don't want to be that guy, you know, so she's kind of helping. It's like we're teaching each other, you know what I mean?
Yeah. How old is she?
8.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like
it's a fun
between
age.
8 and 11 are like it's the best age
It's
because they
so
are their
fun.
own person and they're not really, there's no real peer pressure at that moment in time.
Well,
is there?
It's starting kind of.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like they're just kind of fearless. They're just like, whatever.
They are fearless. I think boys are more so than girls. And that's actually an interesting thing that I've observed as a parent that I never really, obviously biased being through these eyes of a young boy, right? Yeah. I never really thought of this, but like as a watching young children, it's amazing how much faster girls mature.
Sure.
Mentally.
Yeah.
Like when you have boys over at like like my daughter's 5th birthday or 6th birthday, it's like the young boys are, I mean, borderline, they're just banging into the wall.
Yeah.
You know
very tactile.
You know, when you're 8 years old, you're, you know, like an 8-year-old boy, you're probably like playing with your doo-doo. You know what I mean?
Seriously.
You're like
and my daughter is
like
like I mean, we're having like full on like in-depth conversations about like crazy stuff about like the future with AI, and I mean with an 8-year-old. Like
I remember we talked about this.
She really like is very thoughtful, and I don't, not to say she's not special. Obviously, I think she's special, but I think I think that all young girls are like that, way more so than boys.
Just curious.
Yeah.
So like when you were growing up, maybe a little bit older than her, you were, you know, getting interested in the world around you. When did music start to really take center stage?
Music was a huge part of my life because my dad, he played bass in a band, and then he also played acoustic guitar. So he would play acoustic guitar. Like playing instruments was like a thing that I saw from a very, very young age, right? In addition, my dad maybe wasn't as sort of exquisite on his hi-fi taste, but way more so than the average, right? So he had, I remember growing up, he had a dual turntable that was so incredible. It was, I don't know if you've ever seen these where you can stack the records.
Yeah.
And then it'll like play one and then drop the next one with the tall spindle. So he had one of those. He had like a Sansui receiver. And so I kind of got influenced into hi-fi and just audio because of that. Probably from like 5 years old, maybe even. Like he was big. My parents both were, you know, growing up so they were probably in their 20s in the mid 60s, you know. They're born in the mid 40s, right?
Yeah,
so Motown stuff was big. Classic rock was huge, right? Growing up, 80s music. I mean, they would play like the gamut, you know, of stuff. So, and just seeing them like sing along to each other kind of influenced me. Like, this is really cool.
Wow.
And like the Beatles, my dad's huge into the Beatles and the Who. And I remember my sister and I, she always thought it was Pay the Bike Rider. Not paperback writer. And she sing the songs the wrong way, but like we make up our own words, you know.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I see my daughter doing the same thing. You know, it's like, what did you think that said?
I thought it was Stop in the Neighborhood.
We need to.
You need to do a show on just that, you know, misunderstood lyrics, right?
No, exactly. We need to have an episode on that.
Yeah, it's fun though. That's what makes music so fun. Is like it's like how you receive it, you know.
Yeah, and how you interpret it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and kind of flip the lyrics in your head. Like, I've been singing this song wrong for 20 years.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean? You realize,
totally.
Like, when you look at the lyrics, you Google it, like, oh my God, this is my
that's
favorite
like
song. And
a
then you
lot.
You Google the lyrics, you're like,
What?
I've been singing this wrong
I
for
still
20
don't know what
years.
electric relaxation, piece up the plan, girl, reset. I don't even know. I still don't know what that says, you know?
Yeah.
But like, it's a great example.
Yeah.
I think the other big thing for me was friends of mine who had older siblings.
Yes.
Was a huge influence.
Yeah.
I kind of got into Duran Duran and a bunch of curiosities that were really, like I mentioned Metallica. That wasn't like on my own. That was because somebody's older brother was into like Kill 'Em All. And so I had Kill 'Em All. And one of my favorite songs actually is Anesthesia Pulling Teeth, Cliff Burton's bass solo on that. The beginning part of the song is
you
like,
talked about that the other day.
holy moly, it's so cool. So just stuff like, I didn't find that on my own. I found that because I was over at, a friend's house and his brother was like, picking on us. Hey man, would you get in here and listen to this, you little shitheads,
stuff.
you know? Pull us in there.
Yeah,
listen to this shit.
Refresh my memory. You grew up in Plano?
Plano, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
my dad flying. So we grew up till I was about 5 in. So I grew up all over. My dad was in the Air Force, and then he he was drafted in Vietnam, and then afterwards he thought he would go to work for the Pentagon. So we kind of grew up in that.
Yeah.
Well, he did actually for like a year.
Okay.
So I was born on a Air Force Base.
Really? That I did not know.
Clovis. I'm
Clovis, New Mexico.
Clovis, New Mexico.
Wow.
Everyone's like, where the fuck is that? It's literally the only thing there is, I think it's Cannon Air Force Base is where I was born. And I believe we moved pretty much right after that. And then I think it was Alexandria, Virginia, or that kind of area.
Yep.
And then it was, okay, I don't want to do the desk job thing, my dad. And so he's like, I want to be a pilot. He did the Air National Guard thing. We moved to Denver.
Okay.
And so I kind of grew up my grandparents lived in Denver, my dad's dad, and he was a retired Air Force colonel.
Oh, wow.
And so he lived in Denver, and then we grew up kind of until I was about 5 in Aurora, which I think that's where is that where Columbine? There was some crazy stuff that went on in Aurora, but my dad flew Air National Guard. Then I don't know if y'all remember Braniff Airlines.
Yes.
He flew for Braniff, and then they folded. And Braniff and Southwest at the time were very similar, kind of regional at that time, right? And so he went and joined Southwest Airlines.
Okay.
And at the time, it was like, he had no idea about Texas, like where's the best place. But Love Field was where
Southwest was based. Right?
And so he looked, it's like, where should we live? And then at that point in time, Plano was like really good schools. And so that's kind of how that happened. And then, we moved. So when I was like 6 or something like that. So like I remember watching like the Challenger disaster in maybe kindergarten when I was in Aurora.
Okay.
I was at KinderCare. For some reason that just popped in my head.
Did they have it on the TV for everybody to see?
Yeah, we were watching
I remember
it.
that.
They pulled the TV out on the thing. Yeah.
And that happened, and then I remember the teacher turned off the TV and she rolled it away. She's like, "Okay,
that's
class,
literally what.
let's continue." And we were like, "What just happened?"
Yeah. Real quick story about that. When I didn't know this at the time until way after the fact, because at the time when this was happening, I was just so excited to be there. But one of the stops, the New Hampshire primary when Bernie was running for president, one of the stops was New Hampshire, right? And anyways, I was on the Bernie campaign, and so I DJ'd there in this high school gymnasium. Okay. I did not know until way after the fact that we were there because of the New Hampshire primary, but I didn't know way after the fact that high school was the high school that one teacher that was on the Challenger.
Oh wow.
That's where she taught. And so all those the famous footage of all those students being in shock.
Yeah, that's from there.
Was filmed in that gymnasium.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That was.
And and I think the Challenger thing just happened. We're talking, the anniversary was last week.
Yeah.
As a side note, I'm following the Artemis launch, and they had to delay it recently because something was malfunctioning. But Artemis is the Greek god sister to Apollo, and so there's 4 people on there. There's a woman and 3 men, and there's 4 chapters to it. And I'm like, the Artemis 2, which is supposed to be happening any day now, they're going to have people in the shuttle go around the moon. Artemis 3 is landing on the moon, I think on the South Pole, one of the poles. And then Artemis 4 is something else, maybe more people or doing some more research on the moon. But the whole NASA thing, I mean, all that stuff. And I'm sure your dad probably kept, he was interested in that, and that was probably in your household a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
And anybody is a pilot or astronaut, they're on another level of
what's interesting though is so I don't want to go too deep in this rabbit hole, but just what's interesting to me about my dad in that regard is he kind of came into embracing being a pilot. It's not what he wanted to do. Which if you met him now, you would think that's from when. No, he got drafted, and I was like, what did you want to be, right? So he majored, I believe, in English, and he was he had a whole different idea of what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And when he got drafted, it just so happened to be that my grandfather, who is where I get my last name from, is a Polish immigrant when he was pretty young. I don't know his exact age when he immigrated, maybe 9 or something like that. But he grew up in Brooklyn and after Poland, right? And then joined the Air Force when it was the Army Air Corps.
Yeah.
And ever since I've known my grandfather, he was retired. He retired when he was 50 something years old. I'm like, dude. Oh. So he was retired he died when he was 95. So he was working. Whoa. He was not working longer than he worked.
Yeah.
And he had so much passion, my grandfather did, for being a pilot again, colonel in the Air Force. And I think my dad, when the Vietnam draft happened, he chose that route, probably because of that. Okay. I don't know exactly, but
there's physical specifications you have to pass to be a pilot.
Oh yeah,
not anybody can just be a pilot. I mean, you have to have 20/20
Well, that was the thing is I wanted
stuff.
to be a pilot when I was real young, and then I'm blind as a bat. I got LASIK, but now I'm getting blind as a bat up close, and so I got my readers down and stuff. So, but it's funny. But my dad always told me, he's like, "Yeah, you're not going to be able to be a pilot." I was like, "What else do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Oh, great." So,
which is a nice bridge to how you got into
DJing
and hip hop and
switching gears, which leads to you discovering DJing.
Yeah,
your interest in DJing.
I think probably. That's a good question. What was it was really kind of a segue from, it really probably first started with me kind of being interested and kind of discovering, I discovered hip hop in probably a happenstance way, probably through one of those avenues I described before, someone's older brother or something. I remember, I'm just going to throw out some different albums. I remember, what was it? Easy Does It and stuff like that. Yeah. And of course, all over the news was 2 Live Crew.
Of course.
And so that was a thing, you know what I mean? And then there was and that actually introduced me into Miami bass. I was like, what is this? You know what I mean? Yeah. This was right when that stuff was happening, right? And but I wasn't just into hip hop. I was also Bobby Brown, or whatever else, Guns N' Roses. I had that. So right. So, And then I would say I met this guy, I referenced him before, Point Five, Josh Kirk, and he was actually at my wedding. I think you may have met him. I bring him up because he was the one that really, like, how do I say, like, made me realize like how much depth hip hop has. He was like, yo, check out this Public Enemy, A Nation of Millions. Check out, I'm just trying to randomly think of things, like any of the EPMD's first album, a Third Base.
Yep.
I met him at the bus stop. He lived like right, so we're at the bus stop, like, what are you listening to, man?
Yeah.
And and this was probably in 6th grade, maybe something like that. And him and I just went down a rabbit hole on this stuff. We were like, he was from Pittsburgh and he had moved. I don't know why he moved to Plano, but he lived literally right across the street. And so it's like, man, this is crazy. So we started just, stealing really these CDs because we didn't have any money, man. And that's where all that stuff came from. And then, at some point along that, I came across the one that I always cite that I remember the most is Low Profile, DJ Aladdin. And that album, as well as Gangstar's second album, Step in the Arena, like those two. And then I don't give enough credit to DJ Magic Mike, which is why I kind of mentioned the scratching on all of those was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. It was so like with Magic.
That's what got me into DJing.
Okay.
Frenetic. Yeah, Magic Mike was just so crazy and frenetic, right? It was just bugged out craziness, and I'm thinking that you got into Magic Mike not only because of that, because
the bass.
Car culture.
That's exactly right.
Remember you were talking about your
100%,
Jeep?
100%.
You were talking about that Jeep of yours, right?
But even before then, the way I got into it was like older brothers of friends, right? And so it's funny, in my garage, I still have a stack of Lowrider magazines from like the 80s.
Yeah.
Seriously. And so
magazine.
I think I told you this. My dad took me to a Lowrider show
you did.
at the Dallas Convention Center. And I don't even have to like research when it came through, but it was probably late 80s, 88, 80, 87, 88. And, I always think back to that, like, and I want to do stuff like that for my daughter. I'm sure my dad was like, man, I don't want to go to this. What is this shit?
Yeah.
But he was like excited, and maybe he wanted to go. I don't know. My dad's a big car guy too. So maybe he was probably curious, but, he took me down there and it kind of opened my eyes to like car culture. Right. And so, and especially not only hydraulics, that wasn't as big of a thing in Dallas, but like systems were, right? And so like my first car was a Jeep Wrangler, and it had 4 JL Audio 10W4s, isobaric.
Whoa.
My dad helped me build the box. Like,
Yeah.
I'll have to, I think you've maybe seen photos. But that got me into like a whole group of friends, right?
Yep.
And so and I told you this, the first gig I ever did was actually a quinceañera for a girl that was in my class, but I knew of her really more from her older brother.
Yep.
Because he was like a car guy.
Yeah.
And anyhow, I digress. But yeah, that's how I got into DJ. It was really from scratching.
Yeah.
And I got into Magic Mike, kind of because of the car thing.
The car thing. Speaking of car things in Dallas, didn't Nemesis have a track called Munchies for Your Bass?
Munchies for Your Bass, yeah.
And like on the cover, now, folks, if you don't know who Nemesis is a Dallas-based hip-hop group. They were on Profile, right?
They were on Profile. Same with G and them, right?
Yeah. Wait, were they? No.
Is that...
Baby? No, they were on Priority.
Priority, sorry. The logo, sorry. The block.
Mad Flavor, yeah. But, Nemesis was... What was the other? I forgot the name, the title of their first record, but it's them standing in front of the Dallas skyline.
Exactly.
With the green neon.
Yep.
What's the name of that building in Dallas?
The Reunion Arena, the little ball thing.
No, not the ball thing, but the building in Dallas, the tall building with the green neon.
Oh yeah, shit.
I don't even know the name.
I don't know.
Building. But they're standing in front of that building.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna get crucified by Dallas. So how do you not know that? Well, because I was like a kid and I wasn't going to downtown fucking Dallas. Is how I don't know that. But, anyhow, like I can already hear it now.
Yeah, like you. I mean, I'm a big Gangstar person.
Yeah.
With Primo and Guru. Rest in peace.
Yeah, man.
I was watching the Mass Appeal video the other night. Just the scratching and everything. That video's super dope.
Yeah,
but
I don't even think I remember that
dude,
video.
It's sick. But anyways, and all the videos, like what Step in the Arena, right? That video, I actually watched it the other night, and like Little Dap, it's such a bugged out video. Like not Little Dap, Malachi the Nutcracker.
Yeah.
He's like standing in this like cage. He's like a little dude. He's all diesel though, right?
Yeah.
And he's fighting this guy like twice his size.
Ooh.
And it was just the most bugged out video. But
their videos are. Remember that one Suckers Need Bodyguards where the dude's got the altar and then they like chase him down the street? I think Malachi's in that one too.
Yeah, so it's just like the Gangstar Foundation. It was like Lil Dap, Malachi the Nutcracker, Big Shug.
Big Shug. That's the one that started. And Premier's always quick to point that out because I always forget that.
Yeah,
right? But he's like Big Shug is the one that started it with Guru, right, and him.
Yeah, but it's so funny with Malachi, Malachi the Nutcracker, like
what a name.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very Children of the Corn.
Dude, I have an autographed group home record.
Oh, do you? Do that?
Yeah, he signed it. Malachi, and he put the Nutcracker in quotes.
Oh,
I wonder where
so fantastical.
Suspended in Time.
I don't
what
know
a song, dude.
I don't know where he got that name, but I just after watching those videos, I'm like, man, it's just so funny. I mean, because they're all in the videos. Dab and Malachi and Shug, they're all in the background. But I believe in the Mass Appeal video, is it Primo Drive-In or Guru? Anyways, Guru.
Oh, that's when they had those. That was sorry.
But Guru and Primo, it's either one of them. They're driving, and then in the back is Shug, Dap, and
that's
Malachi.
right. They're out there like it's really cold outside, and
Yes.
they're out. But I remember that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But big Gangstar fan. The Daily Operation record. The cover's ill, right? With Guru and Primo, but the flip with the Gangstar
on the like where they're on the like that ladder, right? You're talking about that one?
No. Like on Daily Operation.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Step in the Arena.
Yeah,
Sorry.
like the album cover, like there's Guru in
like in a library or something like that, right?
And then there's like Primo with his turntables.
Yeah.
But on the flip, there's like this really long table. In the Gangstar Foundation.
Oh, that's right.
They're all just chilling behind this table.
Yeah,
and it's like one of the dopest photos ever.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of dope photos, remember when Source tried to recreate the jazz thing in Harlem or whatever it was, and they got all the hip hop. Man, I want to see that photo now to see like Fat Joe and kind of how different he looks.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Without the painted on beard or whatever.
Commercial jingles.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say this: that Fat Joe definitely has one of the like dopest clean versions of a track ever.
Oh.
Yeah, which one is that? Lean Back or something?
No, which is like tied into Primo.
Oh,
he produced "Shit Is Real."
Oh God, that song.
And the scratches that Primo like threw over all the dirty lyrics, so good.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Remember that?
Oh my God, yeah.
So Magic Mike kind of turned your ear sideways, be like, what is the sound effect? And you're like, I need to figure this out.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to kind of feel like you were proficient, or did you have to do
well,
trial
that's the
and error
thing,
in front
right?
of people?
So yeah, it's a good question because I was trying to think about that. Like there wasn't YouTube, there wasn't really, there were DMC videos.
Okay.
But I mean, I didn't know that at the time, right? So like the things that I had at my disposal, it's funny we're talking about videos, right? Because that was another big influence from me. So when Point 5 introduced me to everything, both him and I would watch Rap City and Yo MTV Raps, and I would record I have cassette or VHS tapes with like handwritten playlist, you know, from literally way back when. And what I would do is I would do that so that I could watch like Black Sheep, like Mr. Long.
Yep.
And there's a video of him like scratching and I pause it and I'm like, what is that? And it was a laser disc he had on there. But at the time I was like, what the fuck kind of record is he using, man? That was like a mirror, dude.
Yeah, wasn't that on the Choice is Yours video?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then like I'd look at like DJ Scratch, you know, EPMD, and I'd be like, oh, like the crossover. And I'd be like, yo, what's the bent tone arm?
Yeah.
What is that? You know? And so then I'd go, so we had a place, Spin Masters, which quick side note, I thought I was going to do drafting and architecture in high school. Nice. And so Little known fact about me, I'm proficient in AutoCAD.
Okay.
Just by dorking around.
That explains a lot.
And so I designed the original or the second Spin Masters location. So Spin Masters was a DJ store, like gear, lighting. Shout out to A1. I met A1 there. He worked there. It was in Garland, Texas.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's really where I learned. I found out about that place because I was like, where am I going to get all this gear? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
And I found that place, and before I could even drive, my dad took me there, and that's where I got my first 1200s. I believe I got from there. I prior to that, I had I think a one Techniques 1800 or something like it had like the switch or something. One of my friend's dad gave it to me, and because we didn't know, right? And so at the beginning, what I had was I had that before I got the 1200s, and then what I bought from Spin Masters at first was a 19-inch rack mountable Gemini PDM 3008.
Did it have the sampler?
Had the fucking 8-second sampler on it. And this is why I cut hamster. A lot of people ask me that. How do you cut hamster, right? Why do you cut hamster? It's two reasons. It's one, because no one ever taught me. It wasn't like I had a crew of DJs to teach me.
Exactly.
Number one. Number two, that mixer. It had an assignable crossfader.
Oh.
And what I did at first, because all I gave a shit about was scratching. So I put it to where it cut off on both the left and the right, and I would just go, you know what I mean, and do this, and be like, I'm fucking awesome.
That long throw,
the long throw, dude, and it was like, ugh. and then I watched. I got DMC videos from Spin Masters, and then I saw Aladdin on there, and I
was it the 88 one?
And he had the fucking line switches, with the fucking
flipping,
LL Cool J,
Rock the Bells.
Oh my fucking god, man!
Yeah.
First time I ever saw that.
Yeah, I mean, I got goosebumps right now. But yeah, that's then what I did was I realized my Gemini mixer has those line phono switches, but they're long throw, and so I would swat up pieces of tape or paper in there to make it short throw, and I on the one I still have it, and I broke the fucking. So then I'm like, all right, time to go to channel 2, you know. Anyhow, that's how I started DJing, was scratching. You know, I play CDs. I get the. They started doing maxi singles, I think probably in, I don't know, it'd be interesting to know. They did the maxi cassette singles, and they did CD singles at like Sound Warehouse and stuff. And so I would get like the instrumental CD of whatever it was and fucking just scratch over it.
Yeah.
And so when I DJ'd that quinceañera, I brought like these homemade Radio Shack speaker box that I made, 6x9s and fucking like 2 12s in a box.
Wow.
And then one turntable and a CD player. And I would just play CDs.
Yep.
And I had that mixer, and I would just sample shit and do goofy like and scratch. And then like somebody's uncle would come up, like kicked a hole in my speaker by accident, and you know, I mean, we were having fun. It was in a barn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like fucking.
That's where it's at.
My dad drove me and dropped me off at that gig. It was so funny.
Was it the effects of sound, or was it phrasing that you like to fiddle with?
I think the thing that got me into was the musicality, like the percussiveness of scratching.
Okay.
Which later on, when I was in Blaze, the jazz band, that was kind of my role in the band, was to be like a
somewhat of a percussionist.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Yeah.
Me and Brandon would go back and forth, just like someone on the bongos or whatever would do. You know, that's what we did. And it just so happened I could do some phrasing, but it was way more. You know, percussive.
It's interesting when you talking about learning how to scratch, because I was in the same boat as well. I mean, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have like YouTube, where there was just days of tutorials and what have you.
Yeah.
So you had to listen to these records.
Yeah.
You mentioned EPMD. Like I wanted to scratch like DJ Scratch.
Oh my God, he's incredible.
On Gold Digger.
Oh my, yeah. That video is incredible.
Yeah.
He was doing line switch stuff, yeah.
Was he?
I don't remember.
I don't know. Like I was like, okay, this song, the track is ill, the beats are ill. God. Just, Parrish
12 inch is ill.
Yeah. And Eric, they're rhyming, and then just, I mean, the chorus is like a Parliament track, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you hear Scratch doing this like really fast chirping type stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, like how does he do
But
that?
there were so many cats. That's the thing around that time period. As you started to dig deeper, you know, you had obviously Jazzy Jeff, which was like way more accessible, right?
Yeah.
Like parents just don't understand or whatever it was,
Yeah.
right? Nightmare on My Street. But like Jeff was killing it, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is killing it still. And Cash Money, holy shit, man. I mean, that dude,
Oh yeah.
just like incredible to hear like the Tears for Fears. All
Yeah,
the ugly people be quiet. Like,
yeah. Is that the
that's-
track? What's the name of that track where it starts off with Tears for Fears and then
Yeah.
turntable?
Did that turntable? Yeah, that's ugly
Is it-
people
is
be
that what it
quiet.
is?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's incredible, man. I mean, you listen to those cuts again, like, holy shit. I mean, well, to me, the best version of the holy shit, listen to those cuts, is there's nothing better than Aladdin's on a Rampage. I don't fight me to this day. I mean, I don't give a shit. The latest and greatest, there's nothing better. And to me, the reason why is very technical. And it's not just like, oh, he was on like crappy old equipment.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's like, it's the same reason I really like Pimp C. It's like, there's like a swagger to it. There's a funk to it.
Yeah.
A flow to it
Yep.
that like it's a lot of cats don't have.
Yeah.
A lot of, when people get technical, sometimes it's real sterile, you know?
Yeah,
it's
just
dry.
kind of clinical. and,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Just I mean that's
The funkiness of that whole album, but that song in particular, Aladdin's on a Rampage, was like the song that made me realize, like, holy
Yeah, you can put some alchemy in it.
shit,
Yeah,
you know, this is
because things
nuts.
can get a little bit dry when people get
Yeah.
so technical, and you're like, "What is this for?"
I mean, that song is 4 minutes of just scratching with
Yeah.
like a little bit of emceeing,
Yeah,
you know, and it's like telling a story between the two of them, but like the technical, I mean, at the very end of it, he ends on the thing you were talking about. That's how he ends that song, right? With the LL Cool J. That's the end of that song.
Dude. I'm telling
Insane.
you, like the first time I ever saw that,
Hubert copied that off and
Yeah.
credits him, you know,
Oh,
obviously,
okay.
but
the first time I ever saw that Aladdin DMC routine,
yeah.
it just blew me away because like the one that I saw was the Chicago Heat. Okay. So this was like the Chicago battle. And so it wasn't the Chicago, it was the US finals.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was
With the
held in
Jerry
Chicago.
curl.
Like, yeah, Bad Boy Bill's on there and DJ Miz.
Yeah.
But anyways,
oh, he's sick, man.
You saw, the MC's like, the guy's like, I don't know, he looked like a character from Scarface. He was wearing a tie and these glasses. He's like this like drug dealer looking dude. He's like, everybody make some noise from, Los Angeles, DJ Aladdin.
And he started with Colors.
No, he started with Peter Piper.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he was doing the phono line shit, but like he's wearing a black t-shirt, black jeans, and this Jerry curl.
Yeah. Have you seen the Colors one where he starts off with Colors? He's like throwing up gang signs.
Is he?
Straight up.
wow.
I don't know. I think it was. It
I
might have
don't
been
know.
New Music Seminar. He
Yeah,
literally. It was in London,
Okay, so
and he was like playing that song, and like it was just like he had a Jerry, same thing, throwing up gang signs.
Yeah,
and-
it just blew me away. I'm like, man, this guy's he's got a curl.
Man, that whole like crew, by the way, the cartoons. What's his name? Cartoons. Is that his? It's the. I am totally blanking right now, but they are like incredible, man. It's like, it was kind of after Ice Cube left, and it was sort of pre, kind of corny Ice Cube with what's his name, but it was like. It's not West Side Connection, but it's Jesus. What is the name of that group? WC was in it.
Was it what? Is it
WC in the Mad Circle,
Yeah,
and like
Mad
that
Circle, yeah.
whole like group of, it was a lot of family members, like friends and DJ Crazy Tunes. Is that his name? Crazy
like
Tunes?
the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed. I can't remember because like that.
No, my memory's
It'll
terrible
come
as
to you.
well.
That whole like production, it was very influential to me, and like the scratching, and it was like the DJ was at the center, and it was which I feel like was obviously that's more of an East Coast thing. It felt like from the beginning, but like West Coast like took it to another level. I
Yeah.
think like in terms of the technical skills,
Right. Yeah. I think around that time. I mean, DJs were. I mean, they weren't front. They were front and center. I mean, they didn't really overshadow the actual MC.
Yeah.
Whether it's low profile or Gangstar.
Yeah.
I think they were equals.
Yep.
you could probably say that about Main Source.
Yeah.
Remember what I told you about it? DJs. Remember that? Remember that I told you that I bumped into Large Professor at the record
you
convention?
did. What did I ask you? Did you say that to him, or what did I say?
Yeah. No, I walked up to him. I said,
Sir Scratches.
Because like the line was like
his hands was two
hatches.
hatches.
The PJs, fuck
those two DJs,
right?
On a self mission. Had her in the ill position.
Yeah. And so I walked up to Large Professor. He's just chilling behind, this table at the record convention. And I'm like, so whatever happened with you and those two DJs? And he just kind of, I don't know if he rolled his eyes or not. But
you should have got like, are you still on that self mission, man?
Yeah, it was funny. And then because on that same track, he goes, buy the album when I drop it. And I'm like,
yeah.
Did he ever put out a record? I mean, probably 10 years later.
You should have asked him.
Because like I said, the only thing that I ever heard after that was you drop in the Mad, was it?
The Mad Scientist.
The Mad Scientist track.
Oh my God, that track was sick, dude.
That was on Geffen, right?
Yeah. I love to beat juggle that thing.
Yeah,
man. That's such a good track.
Yeah, so it was just funny. But anyways, the DJs back then were kind of equal to the MC.
Yeah.
And I think maybe
Rodney O and Joe Cooley, DJ Jazzy
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, and the Fresh Prince. I mean, like, their names even came before the MC, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in a lot of cases.
Yeah, wasn't it kind of like, it was the thing where the DJ was was like front and center, and the MC was like, okay, I am this DJ's MC.
Yeah.
Like we're talking like 80s.
Yeah, I mean, because that's how hip hop started, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Right.
And I feel like West Coast took that and took it their own direction, and it kind of it embraced the technicality and kind of created, cats like Q-Bird and the Beat Junkies, and like, I mean, look at all of the DMC cats from probably like the late 80s or even early 90s rather, up until like now. It's like a lot of them are like West Coast cats,
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because I thought it would always be East Coast, just because Bronx and the homemade flyers that were super cool, and like the school gymnasium or the house parties, wherever they can find space. I thought that would just be, West Coast seemed like roller rink style, and like it was more.
And a lot of those guys
it didn't seem like it was serious.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys like Q-Bird and the Beat Junkies and what have you, they kind of come from that roller skating kind of
mobile
DJ crews.
Yeah,
right?
there's a book. I got that book.
Yeah.
I still haven't read
it.
Who wrote it? O-Dub, or who wrote that?
Was it Oliver Wang?
Oliver Wang, not O-Dub.
Yeah.
He goes by O-Dub, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But
it's like the Filipino sound systems of the Bay or something like
Yeah.
that.
Nice.
Seriously, my wife bought it for me. She's like, "Here you go." I'm like, "I need."
Gotta read about
it's
your
sitting
people,
in my
dog.
nightstand. I'm like, it's a cool cover too. And they're like white with like
awesome.
with like the
Blue and
CMYK. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dope. Yeah, with the boom, with the sound system. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's wild because the Filipinos in the Bay Area kind of just took it to
Run
a
shit,
completely.
man.
They just
For sure.
completely took it to another level.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting, right? I think that what was that joke about ITF, International something Filipino? People were saying that it stands for like everyone here is a Filipino, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can't remember the acronym joke, but
And it's funny because I'm Filipino, and I never was like, oh my God, Q-Bird's Filipino. No, I just thought he was.
I never even thought about it honestly until probably much later, right? Maybe even until I met my girl, my wife. But at the time, she's like, a lot of Filipinos for being in Texas, and I'm like, I started thinking like, how is that? And then I'm like, it's because of DJing.
Yeah.
And then I realized like, okay, interesting, right?
So after like learning how to DJ and scratch, in terms of beat matching to kind of play songs, I'm sure you had to figure out that hybrid.
Yeah.
How interested were you in that, and did you kind of do that a lot just to like do gigs and stuff?
Yeah, I would say that kind of started, to kind of pick up from the quinceañera kind of time frame. Maybe a couple years after that, I kind of became known as like a music selector, curator, right? Like I'd go to Bill's, I'd go to Vicon Village, and I would just buy whatever.
Yeah.
and then record mixtapes. And they were, I mean, some of my early stuff was god awful. I mean, just like all over the damn place.
Yeah.
Like what's her face we were talking about, no names, but
yeah.
I can't remember whatever her name was, but like that.
With the one that you and I have talked about.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
yeah.
we're not going to mention that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying there's plenty of examples. And everybody starts somewhere, right? I'm
Absolutely.
Not
but there was no YouTube. There wasn't like a sync button.
And like the interesting thing is in terms of how did I learn to beat match?
Or how long did it take?
Yeah, so I think what I ended up getting into was more of like creating mixtapes for my friends, right? And so what I did was at first, because I wasn't good at mixing live, actually it wasn't even that. Early on, I only had one turntable. What I decided to do was I got a 4-track. Did I get a 4-track first? I can't remember the exact lineage of it, but when I got serious about the mixtapes was probably when I was like in high school, maybe in like 8th or 9th grade. And when I got real serious, I mean, I have some tapes that I got like mass produced when I was in high school.
Okay.
Like Point Five did the cover on them. I have one called Lacerations. I have, it's got this goofy, and I listen to it now and I'm like, it's not incredible, but like it's pretty good.
Yeah,
the song selection is good. It's got a bunch of underground stuff like the Arsonists or Mystic Journeyman's first sync, Depths of Survival. I had that on there. You know what I mean? So I was just like dorking around, like this is awesome. And then I would sometimes do them with a 4-track, right? Because I wanted it to sound nice.
Yeah.
Later on. So I kind of practiced that way, beat matching, right? And it took me a while to figure out, oh my God, this one's faster, this one's slower.
Yeah.
I did some house parties, but I wasn't like big into, it was more mixtapes.
Yeah.
And then when I moved here to Austin to go to school in 95, I got on KVRX.
Oh, right.
Not right away, but pretty quickly. And I, of course, had to do we had this sister station with, what's the...
Co-op?
Yeah, Co-op. Yeah. And so whenever Co-op was live, then they switched over to cable broadcasting on cable TV in the dorms. So my first show was on cable TV like Sunday morning at like 3 a.m.
Oh, wow.
It was horrible. And,
Yikes.
and I didn't have my turntable. Shout out to Jason Dozier, rest in peace. He
definitely rest in peace.
He let me borrow his turntables for that show. And so that's kind of really where my mixing got honed was because there was no hiding. We were live on the air.
I know it.
And I was just mixing and, I've got actually now what's in those cassette things I was talking about is all my KVRX tapes.
Oh, awesome.
And I need to get them I've been saying that for years, digitize them and put them out.
Case.
But yeah. And then the clubs after that, I think is kind of like radio mixtapes, radio, club, with battling mixed in there, you know.
Do you remember what places you DJ'd at, and did you have a residency in Austin?
I did have a couple of residencies. Probably the first gigs I did were Electric Lounge, maybe.
Nice.
Actually, it's worth noting, and Mel, you're going to laugh when I say this because we've had so many conversations about this, but I started Hip Hop Mecca with a gentleman by the name of Dave Crump. And so that was another avenue where I wouldn't say I had like a residency, but like we had a very strong relationship. Shout out to Mike Henry with Electric Lounge. And so we did some incredible shows there. I mean, really Mixmaster Mike and MOP, you know, Hieroglyphics.
Did you guys have Black Moon?
No, Black Moon was
that was a Catfish Station show, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was incredible. There was another, who was that? What's that guy's name? Man, I'm so bad with names. But yeah, when I first moved to Austin, there was a promotions company. That's kind of what inspired me was that cat, whoever.
I forgot what that guy's name.
Yeah. Was it Will Strickland or?
No. Will Strickland, dude, he actually grew up in Clean, but he wound up being like an influential, like
South by
hip hop label dude, right?
Okay, right.
No, the guy who was throwing all those Catfish Station shows, wasn't it like a kind of a fratty white guy?
Maybe he did AC Alone. He did a few other. He did Alcoholics, where Bavu like freestyled with against Tash, I just remember that's like a legendary Austin story.
Wow.
I just remember like the Black Moon show, the Roots. They did the Roots there.
Yeah.
They did a bunch like. They did Common,
Common
Sense when he was Common Sense.
Yeah, that's right. Common Sense.
So, anyways, I just remember it was just like this, this white kid that drove a like a Nissan like Xterra SUV.
Yeah.
And back then he was just dripped in like Tommy Hilfiger.
And that was 6th Street, right? Catfish was right there, or was it 5th?
It was on 6th.
You know who else I met, man? Shout out to Casanova. I met him actually through DJ battling at Lizard Lounge in Dallas. Was a couple of I met, matter of fact, Shortcut when he had the gray 05 Pro prototype in Dallas. Dude. At the Spin Masters had a battle. What was it called?
I know the name.
I can't remember this battle. I ended up getting, I think, 2nd place or 3rd. I mean, I wasn't that great. The competition wasn't that stiff, but Casanova beat me, and that's also him
in Dallas.
In Dallas, okay. And he won like a skateboard, and T-Double was with him, and he did. I never forget. He did Run DMC over Sade, and the crowd was like, "Whoa, fucking like live remix!" And I was playing like Latyrix or some shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what the fuck I was doing.
That's how I met.
Just scratching. Now let me put on this Latyrix beat and fucking just nerd out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how I met G through a DJ battle. Because he asked me. Because I was working for record labels at the time. And I forgot what I was.
Remember Del?
Yeah. Well, anyways.
Fucking Del Furious, dude.
What's wild?
Holy shit. What's his face? Justin Timberlake. He DJ for Justin Timberlake.
I know.
Shout out to Del, man. That dude is fucking.
Del wound up winning that battle.
He's incredible. Did he do the turnaround and point?
I totally forgot.
The first time I ever saw that shit.
G asked me to do it. So I was like, okay, to judge it, right? And I also used it as an opportunity.
Wait a second, dude. Was this at that place where the DJ booth was like up high?
No, this was at Dread and Irie.
Oh yeah, Dread and
Remember
man,
Dread and
yeah,
Irie?
of course. Shout out to Chino, man.
Yeah.
That's where Chino did all their flyers and with Baby G and 38th Parallel and their whole thing with bomb ass mixtape and blah blah blah.
So he was like hosting this battle. He asked me to judge it. That's how
I was probably there, man.
No, well, maybe
not in the battle, in the crowd.
Maybe. Well, what's wild about that is that I used it also as an opportunity to give out all this promo stuff that I was like working on.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were working
for
Delicious Vinyl right at the time, or
I forgot what label I was working for at the time. But anyways, I was throwing out cassettes, and then I was also taking photos of the crowd.
Maybe I wasn't. I would have remembered that.
Del won that battle.
Yeah.
But many years later, we're talking like maybe 10 years ago, I was looking at those photos I took of that battle.
Yeah.
And I'm looking in.
Bobby Dixon and Bavu. Yeah, you posted that. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
yeah. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, and Del won that battle. He murdered it.
Oh, this guy was like an alien, man.
Yeah,
he was so
good.
incredible.
Is it just quick responses physically, or is it also creative that you're
creative? Like he, in terms of Del in particular, like he would, he had this one juggle of Del the Homo sapien where it's like Del will blow your mind, or I can't remember what song it was, and he would Del will blow your mind, Del will blow your mind, but it was like a syllable and a phrase that was like not really. It was a little awkward.
Yeah.
But he made it funky and. So it's a little bit of like,
okay,
oh, I know that, and wow, you flipped it, kind of a thing. And he's just incredible.
Yeah, Del's a white dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just remember, at Dread and Irie, I mean, it was mixed, but there were mostly black folk.
Yeah.
So you had
he stood
Del,
out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. Del walked in there and just fucking killed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll never forget that.
I saw him for the first. Is he still
around? Is he still around? I heard he.
G knows.
I heard he started selling all his records. Right?
Yeah.
Is that what you told me?
I don't even know, man.
Yeah.
G knows the whole story. I don't really know. But the first time I saw him was actually at, and I don't remember. That's why I asked. It wasn't Dread and Irie. It was like another club in Deep Ellum, where all I remember is the DJ booth. And you know who DJ'd there? Snoopy. I don't know if you remember Snoopy.
Snoopy
DJ'd
one of the original
Erykah
DJs
Badu.
at Nasties. Yeah.
And also, he produced On and On. He was a part producer of On and On.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
With
What's
no.
that?
Is it the Rick Rubin song?
No.
Justice?
Erica Badu. On and
On and
on.
on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I believe Snoopy and gosh, what's his face from the Cannabinoids? I'm so bad with names, man. He's the one that like produced most of it, but Snoopy is like a Dallas OG, but he was up in that little DJ. It was insane. It reminded me, remember Spiro's?
Yeah.
It was like that, dude, like where the fucking DJ Casanova would be up there. What shall I say? But yeah, anyway, that's where I was going is back to Austin clubs, right? So I met Casanova. And he, ironically, I have a long, we could go for another hour just about Casanova, but my first house I ever bought in Austin was up north, like Breaker Metric area.
Yeah.
And I bought it because he lived up there.
Oh, wow.
As did Brother K. They kind of introduced me to the north side, way pre-Domain and all that.
Yeah.
Casanova, man, he was like the big bro. He was like running Austin, like him and... actually, X-Man with his crew, the Foundation DJs with Snoopy, Snotty.
Yeah.
And and like they were kind of running
OG
shit.
Nasties guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
oh my gosh, these names.
So yeah, these clubs. I'm trying to think of the clubs, man. Back then it was Spiro's was one that I remember.
Did you ever do like lo-fi, like B-side? Remember like it was called, I think it was called the B-side.
Yeah, it was.
End
Yeah, it was. It was like it was a part of a bigger restaurant. Well, it was a part
loungy.
of the bitter end. Remember the bitter end?
Not
it was
really.
a restaurant bar, and the B-side was like this smaller part of the.
The only restaurants I did y'all remember Silhouette? No, Pango's Sushi, where the dude was watching girls or whatever. I did that with me and Ephraim Owens and Ephraim, and there was this guy Dave Palmer, incredible keyboardist, and I would play kind of instrumentals, and then Ephraim would play over, and you remember that place. It became Silhouette Sushi, and
it was next to Little City. I remember because I worked at Little City for 2
seconds.
Yeah.
Shout out when Jeff Chicken George moved to Austin. I got him a gig there because I had that relationship with. I stayed through the crazy Taiwanese dude that was looking at women, and to the next owner. And was DJing there, and got Dave Starsign and Chicken George residencies there.
Okay.
I've done Plush was probably one of the more notable ones, like me and this Plush. Dude.
We were part of the original lineup.
But you weren't part of Table Manners.
No, this was pre.
This was
pre
way
that.
before. This was when.
I mean, I basically should have been. I was there drinking all the damn time. Shout out to Avi and Tots and the crew.
Yeah, this is when Tweety owned it, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, he was the first owner of Plush, and when was it?
And it was literally Plush. They redid it, and it was
beautiful.
It was all white, like mod, like this kind of stuff with the.
Yeah.
It was great. Remember the beads?
Yeah, it was such a beautiful. It was such
what was
a
it, blue flamingo or some shit before with like a dirt floor?
Yeah, or something like that.
It was a crazy fucking place.
So it was you, it was
G,
me, and G.
No, and also Sheldon, remember?
Oh, and Sheldon. So
DJ 15, shout out 15.
So I played every Friday. What night
I
did
did
you play?
Saturday.
You did Saturdays.
G did Thursday.
Yeah. So
I'd always come and check. Me and Info would come and check you out.
It was
all the time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Sit there drinking Dos Equis and talking to Von Shea. Shout out.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Man.
Yeah, good times. Yeah.
This is why my daughter always says, "Are they still alive?"
I know.
Because I'm always saying
it's really Salute to Von Shea.
When I first started working at Waterloo, I remember we would get the Chronicle, and you were on the cover of Chronicle at one point.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. That was a crazy. Yeah, that's when I was real heavy with Blaze and Brandon Temple, and that kind of happened because of the Pangos thing. Really, actually, Brandon had. You remember Empanada Parlor?
Yeah,
when
that's where you started.
When AQ and them did the their thing over there. Well, God, what was that?
Was it the Grupo
G? Was
it the Grupo?
Yeah, Grupo. But G did his thing too. I am so bad. Like, Ja Mighty was over there.
Yeah, well, I forgot what they were doing. Was it Ring the Alarm?
Ring the Alarm, dude.
I mean, that's where I started.
Ring the Alarm.
Casbah.
That's what. Yeah, I remember showing Rock the Casbah there.
Yeah.
And that's also Grupo did some shit there, and so we kind of did. Brandon, I met Brandon. I mean, everybody.
This was like 2000.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knew of Brandon and Ephraim and Yogi and these guys, right?
Yeah.
And I just ran into Brandon, and I don't know how we happened to be. Someone booked something, and it was there at Empanada, and I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, let's just fuck around, dude. And
Yeah.
he had a little sampler and playing drums, and
Nice.
and it just turned into like, hey, why don't you come be in our 4-piece traditional jazz band, except for you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Mark Miller was on upright bass at the time before Yogi, and I was the only like electronic instrument, you know?
Yeah.
And so it was kind of interesting, but that led to like touring all over the place. And then, I don't remember exactly how I got on the cover.
You guys had a residency at the Elephant Room, right?
Oh yeah. We were
Oh,
like,
you did.
I played at Elephant Room. Like, I can't even tell you how many times I played there.
When they were smoking up a storm.
Oh
in there.
my God.
It was a smoking chimney in there. I mean, it's a great place.
We
to
had
see jazz.
Ephraim and I had so much fun because like we were on the same side. So there's that piano. We were on, like, if you're facing the stage, we were like on the left side.
Yeah. Okay.
And Brandon was on the right, and Yogi would usually, or Mark would sit in front, and then like our sax player would be up there. So me and Ephraim would be on the side, and we always reserved the booth that's right there. So our, girlfriends or whoever would be there. Yeah. Georgia was, I don't know if you know Georgia Bramhall. She was there a lot with like Rhonda Young was there a lot.
Oh, okay.
We're just all family, just hanging out,
Yeah.
and man, we had so much fun. But yeah, lots of cigarette. Ephraim and I were smoking cigarettes in there.
Yeah.
Drinking
Gosh.
pints of Chimay or whatever the hell, getting headaches like a MFer, 12%, sugary. Is it Dutch beer? What is Chimay?
You do
Is
that
it
while you're young. I keep saying that. I'm like, get it out of your system. Live life to the fullest. You are young. Do it.
Yeah, that was a fun time. But yeah, we went on tour to Taiwan.
Wow.
And came back, and Laura Scarborough picked up Brandon Temple from the airport and handed me that chronicle and goes, "Dude, you're on the cover."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?" That's
super
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the issue where they
profiled a bunch of DJs. Yeah.
I mean, I remember.
And I just got lucky to be. I don't think that I mean.
It was dope. Yeah.
Yeah, you were in there. Rapid Rick, me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Chicken was in there. I don't remember who else, but yeah, it was a dope little.
Yeah, and I think we were all just in this microcosm back in the early 2000s is when I worked at the record store. And
yeah,
I remember walking down 6th Street and I'm like, I think I want to get into DJing because I was just buying records like there's no tomorrow. And,
that's how it starts, right? Yeah.
And I didn't want to become a turntablist. I just wanted to share music.
Yeah.
But I'm like, the turntable thing is cool.
Yeah.
My first memory of ever wanting to like control music was being a conductor for an orchestra.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know if I saw too many Sorcerer's Apprentice on Fantasia. Like maybe I wanted the brooms to do my errands. Like if I could get these brooms.
Yeah.
So I was in Berkeley when I was going to film school in San Francisco, and I saw a woman actually DJing at a house party.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is kind of like a street conductor.
Yeah.
You get to peek, you get to manipulate and whatever.
My wife graduated from Berkeley.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So,
I thought you were going to say Berkeley Music School when you were talking the way you were going, and then you said
I went to film school, and then we would go to a lot of house parties in Berkeley. Which the reason why I stayed in Austin is because it reminded me of Berkeley.
It's exactly yep. I hear it all the time from my wife. Yeah.
And there wasn't even street names. You just had
still
to figure it out.
still in touch with a lot of friends from back then?
No, actually, I'm not, because I feel like my coming of age wasn't actually in the 90s when it actually was. It was here in Austin when I moved here in 98, because that's like when I could drink and actually go out, and I wasn't riddled with homework with, I was like trying to figure out this music thing. And so I remember walking down Dirty Six, and I was with probably some Waterloo employees, and we were talking about you, and I asked them, like, I wonder how long it took for NickNack to learn how to beat match, because I can't wrap my head around it.
Long time.
And one person was like, it took him 8 months. And I'm like, that's too long. It's too long. I'm never going to get a gig.
I don't know.
It's too long.
Not 8 months, more like 8 years probably.
I don't know. It was just word on the street. And I thought that was hilarious how our microcosm looked. We all kind of had the periphery.
Well, it was such a small, you know what I mean? Like, and
it was small. I mean,
yeah, it's crazy.
We could, around that time, you
it wasn't, you remember, they wouldn't let DJs really be on 6th Street. We weren't ever... It was like a thing. It was all bands. Yeah.
Which is great. I love
Which
bands.
is why Electric Lounge, right, was
musical.
such a thing for us, because we were like, man, it's off the beaten path. But like,
Same for Nasties. Yeah.
Yeah, Nasties. Actually, back to that thing you were asking. I mean, some of the venues, Firehouse Lounge, I had a residency when they first opened. I ended up meeting, who was it? I can't remember which one.
Toddy.
That
was Todd's spot as well.
Yeah. It was Toddy B.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he used to be a resident there.
okay. Who was I? Raph. I met him. I saw him at the gym. I was working out at the gym, and Raph's like, "Hey, man, I think I don't know. He knew me or something. We started talking, and he's like, I'm opening up this spot. And you know how it is when you hear that kind of stuff. I'm like, shout out to Raph. I didn't believe him at the time. I was like, yeah, fucking right. And then he opened it with the other guys, right? Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I did Friday nights there, I think, for a while.
Okay. Yeah.
And God bless you, because that load in and load out there is
fucking nightmare.
Terrible. Was it like the street alley load in?
Yeah, totally.
With the dumpsters and all that
stuff.
Narrow entrance. It was just
terrible. I feel like too there was I was kind of popping in and out of residencies at Whiskey Bar, and shout out to Bart, and popping in and out of residencies at Beauty Bar, kind of because of Bart. Maybe a little bit of Creekside here and there.
Did you?
This is all later, but like
did you ever do Red Fez? Because that was my first residency.
Red Fez, no, but I played it a lot because of Manny or like Chicken George, right? Yeah. Chicken would always. Yeah. I got a funny chicken story. Remember that booth was like in the middle of the fucking, and there was like a VIP section or something. It's like we're DJing in here, and like there's this couch. Yeah. And I remember Chicken asked me to play, and it was a 4 turntable setup, and I think it was maybe like me, Jeff, Manny. Shout out to Manny. I think Star Sign might have been on the gig. And it was early in the night, right? And I don't know, there's maybe 10 people there, but most of them were behind us, right? And and I got on, and like Jeff had just finished, and I mixed into him, and I started cutting, and because there was no one there, I was like, fucking, I'm just gonna show off to these guys, and just nerd out. And this girl like comes up to Jeff, and she's like, like after I get done cutting, and she's like, oh my God, your scratching is like so good. And he's like putting his records up, and he's like, that's not me. It wasn't me. And she couldn't fathom that I was the one doing that. The white dude. She's like, how is he not doing it? It was just so funny. So Jeff and I always laughed about that, like shout out to Jeff.
He was always so good natured.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like that's one. We lost a great. I mean,
I know it.
Salute to Jeff. That was tough. So the DJing thing. You played around town. Yeah. You did radio on KVRX, right? Then you started getting involved with music production. You had 5 Finger Records, right?
Yeah.
And then you started.
Speaking of Casanova, we recorded that at his house.
Oh, did you?
Prince Poe from Organized Confusion. Yeah. Like right when they broke up. We snagged Prince. We did a Hip Hop Mecca show with them, and then I talked to him. Actually, quick funny story on that. I'm sorry to cut you off. I just have to tell this.
Okay. No, go ahead.
It's so funny. We did a Hip Hop Mecca show, and then fucking Julian was like, shout out to Julian, Max Julian. He goes, Julian, and Chris Martin. They were working the merch table at the shows. Mad Gods, Chris, and after the show, Julian's like, house party at Nick's house, and like starts fucking writing down my apartment. And I lived off of Royal Crest on like East Riverside, and I had to pack up. I was the stage manager, and I brought all the gear. So this is when you
were still living in that apartment on the east side.
Yeah, dude, and like
on Riverside. Oh,
bro, this is the craziest. I'm not making this shit up. I pack all the gear up, and dude, I think I had given them like to help me carry some shit, my keys to my place or something. I go there's literally like people smoking in there, putting cigarettes out, and Pharoah Monch is on my little ass twin bed trying to mac on some girl. He like spilled a 40 on my bed. I'm just like, oh damn, what the fuck, man? My car's like getting towed because I double parked. Remember I drove that Volvo? I don't know if you remember that. It was getting towed, and I'm like smoking a blunt with Prince Poe, and he's like, dude, isn't that your fucking car? And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like running down there. Anyways, that was the beginnings of 5 Finger Records. Was like that whole night,
Wow.
Yeah, I remember the colors of that. It was orange, right?
Shout out Bobby Dixon did that logo.
Oh, did he?
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
Wow, what is...
when he did his hip hop 50-year thingy, and he had and I DJ'd the show, I surprised him. I still have a 5 Finger Records shirt, and he did the logo. Wow. Heather gray, and it's like orange. Very like distinctive logo, and it's like upside down, 2 F's, so then when it spins, it's like always right side up. Super dope design. Nice. And I wore that shirt, but the problem is it's like fucking 3XL. The arms are like down to here. Yeah. My daughter's like, what are you wearing, Dad?
Yeah.
I took my jacket off. I was like, look, Bobby. And he's like, what the fuck? Yeah. Shout out to Bobby, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to him being on there, on the podcast. But, back to the production and like, you creating, you put out full length records. Also, you put out battle records, right?
Yeah.
You also, produced the track for our show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so kind of, talk about or, tell everyone that's listening about just kind of your transition from, DJing mm-hmm. and maybe applying, the technicality in what you've learned from DJing to production.
Yeah. I think what got me into producing is the same thing that got me into DJing. It's just the love of music, right? Mm-hmm. And so... like I said, growing up in a household where, music was being created, it kind of was a natural, like, okay, I mean, I had played guitar and piano and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I was always naturally, not very well, by the way, at either one of those, but like tinkered around, right?
Yeah,
and, so my first foray, I think, was kind of, I think I got an MPC 2000 first, probably in the late 90s, 97, 96, 97. 96. And then I just couldn't figure out the pads. So I got an ASR 10. I was like, oh, this is cool. Keyboard sampler, and that was, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not addressing your question directly, but like just kind of talking about how I got into it.
Sure.
And,
yeah, totally. Go ahead.
I think the first thing was I made the intro to the B-side. So my show on KVRX is called the B-side Mix Show. Mm-mm. And our whole thing was like, KVRX's motto was like, none of the hits all the time. Yeah. So I thought, man, I'm fucking B-side Mix Show. We're only playing the B-sides, like nobody knows the shit we're doing.
Nice.
And anyways, I made the intro to the show. At first it was like, I made it with records and a 4-track. It was all like juggling and stuff like that. And then I was like, man, I need to produce something. And so then it was like right around the time I got that ASR 10. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I started releasing at first. And I would do mixtapes that were kind of inspired by like Mr. Dibs. I don't know if you're familiar.
Oh yeah, Dibs.
Where it's like very kind of goofy and produced, or like Mixmaster Mike was doing some similar shit. It's not just all turntables. It's like kind of like a mixture of turntables and production. And that was like the first thing I did, So I have like In the Nick of Time was one of my mixtapes like that, and Infection, I think. There's some other ones, but and then, I felt like, okay, I'm good enough. And then I did this album. I don't know what came first. Maybe Reconstruction is what I called it. And it was like a compilation of, I tried to get all the best artists that I knew, from Bavu to Chaotix to Headcrack to, just a Trey God, shout out to Trey God, all those people. And then it kind of just evolved out of that,
Yeah. It's awesome. So. Keep it going.
But that seems to be kind of like your outlet now, is still producing music. I mean, you are still actively acquiring gear.
Right? I think the problem is I have a problem acquiring gear. I love creating music, and I think the problem is that I just have a issue with like releasing it. So I have so many albums. I actually had an album I was ready to release when my daughter was born. Yeah. My last actual album came out in probably 2012 or 2013. You can listen to it for free on any of the major. State Machine is what it's called. And that was a super fun album. I didn't ever sell it. I just gave it away for free. I think I created it just in time for South by and kind of put that out. And that's where the song for this podcast comes from. That is, it's a similar kind of concept of like Reconstruction, where it's like I had a few guest MC appearances. So there's a group ADD out of Dallas, and shout out to DJ Sober. He was their DJ at the time, and that's how I got introduced to them. Okay. He was actually riding in my car and heard the beat from this, the one that y'all intro, and was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I go, "Oh man, it's a thing I'm working on." And he goes, "Yo, hold on." And he calls, the his boys and plays it, and they're like, "Yes." So we like got on that, and we even we did a video for it. And anyways, I need to release more more music is the.
You should.
It's the bottom line.
You should do like some sort of like, once a year, situation.
I just, what the thing is I need to remind myself constantly that like perfect is the enemy of done, and like just you know what I mean? Just get it out, because I can always.
There's learning curves after that.
Yeah,
after you make it live, then you just keep going. That's the thing, is the consistency. Like, you can have all the talent in the world, and if you're just not consistent with X, Y, or Z, it's just like, how does anybody know? How do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that whole like paralysis by analysis.
Yeah,
right?
That's exactly what
you're just
it is.
over-examining. You're just like analyzing everything too much, right? You just need to put it out.
I think that's a big part of it. Another part of it is, just my job and really my daughter. Like I consciously have chosen to spend majority of my free time with her and my wife, because
of course.
You're not going to get that back, right? And so I feel like I'm on a little bit of a hiatus. That being said, that is a bit of an excuse. I literally have stuff ready to go. Shout out to Boom Baptist. I had like probably 2 years ago, I had a listening session with him where I was like, dude, what do you think? Gave me all this feedback. I still haven't released that album, and I've probably made like 50 more songs since then. So
you have a ton of stuff in the can.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you need to put it out. I mean, you also need to get your studio together.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this forever on the phone. Forever.
I know.
I mean, this dude has like a wonderful home, right? And everything else. I mean, I haven't been in your house in a year or so, but
which is crazy because that feels like yesterday. We were talking about that.
Yeah, and I mean, everything in the house looks normal, right? Just a nicely appointed home, and the living room, like it looks like a normal home. And then you walk into this one room where it's supposed to be a studio, and it's like it looks like he just moved in. There's boxes everywhere.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be wires everywhere.
Well, it's different now, man.
Okay,
it's not quite
but
as
when
bad.
I was in there was just and things all over the place. Like you just walked in there for the first time.
Well, so in my defense on that, so first off, yes, I won't really defend. I won't defend myself too much, but
I'm not here.
It's a really good point, but like, I'm a big like order of operations guy, meaning that room had carpet in it. Right. And so I was, and it was painted this really ugly gray color.
Yeah.
So those two things, I was like, don't get comfy, Nick. Like, let's fix that first. You know what I mean? And then I just was like, didn't fix that for like a year. And then finally I did, right? We got wood floors in there now, and I painted the walls. And so everything's kind of set up except for my turntables. And my thinking on that, which
have you, I know you sent me that AutoCAD. Like,
yeah.
Have you even started working? You got the wood.
Yeah, dude. That's a funny story. But real quick on a side note is where I used to set up my turntables. When we moved into this new house, there was an office for my wife.
Yeah.
And so I was like, she had this little janky desk, and I said, why don't you take this thing? What I have is actually a desk. It's a nice desk. It's from Four Hands. And I had it for many years. We used it as a dining room table, you know what I mean? And anyways, I was like, you use this, and this will motivate me, because I won't have a fucking place for my turntable. So I'll build the thing I want. And here we are fucking 2 years later, and I'm still designing the fucking thing. But yeah, dude, I went right before the ice storm of 26. I went to, remember the ice storm of 96? Well, I don't think you were here yet, but
I do.
Anyways, that's a total sidebar, but I did go to, I went to, what is it called? Brazos Forest Products. Shout out to Brazos. That's
the one that's over there just south of Ben White, right? Is that what you're telling me about?
It's over there near the
San Elmo, right?
Yeah, near the pickleball courts of wherever. That whole area is insane, man.
Yeah, it's
but I'm out there buying parts, and they're so nice over there. And I bring my circular saw, and I'm like, dude, I need to cut this shit because it's like 4x8 sheets. And he goes, yeah, you're not technically supposed to, but I'm out there in the parking lot cutting the shit. So I got most of the wood. I just need to get a few more sheets and just need to do it. You know?
Yeah. No, I get it. Wanting to spend time with Esme, and you have your job. I mean, those are like really, really important / time consuming things that you have to focus on. I mean, I get it. I mean, I get it.
Obsession with cars.
There's that too. We're not even going to get started on that. But
that's kept me busy in other ways.
But back to the production and the scratch record things. The scratch record, scratch records you have produced.
Yeah.
I definitely get a kick out of when you post a video of DJs from all over the world using your records to scratch.
Yeah. I'm constantly blown away. I think at first the very first record that let me say it like this. The first record I ever produced, I was like, I have to put some scratches on this. Like, even if it was a musical record, like something with Bavu, there's always cuts on the end of it, or always shot. Like on the first record I did with Bavu, I had him shout out every DJ that I knew, and La Di Da, still that thing where it's like La Di Da, that's from that record.
Yeah.
Nice.
And but it's like, I just was trying to be empathetic to fellow DJs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm going to press this record, let me like give something back so that everyone would want to use it. Right. And so that's kind of been my mantra for every vinyl release I have. And it kind of parlayed into the first official one that I really just did scratch record style was Sound Craftsman 1.
Yes.
And I tried to be different and not just copy everyone. So I tried to make it also be a musical instrument. And so that's kind of been the theme of that whole thing. And I did volume 2 and 3. But I also have, I guess, been commissioned to do a couple. So I did this one called Broken, which is one of my favorites. But I didn't control the production of it. So I only have like one copy of it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's fun, I have Sound Craftsman 4 ready to go. The only reason I haven't done it is just, man, during the pandemic, the pressing plants is just gouging people, and
right.
I've gotten, I think Sound Craftsman 2 and 3, I did a little bit of a heavier weight vinyl, which I would not do again.
Okay.
If it's not great, it's a little too heavy, but man, there's lots of lessons.
Yeah, maybe you should talk to Karen.
Yeah.
Who owns Gold Rush.
Yeah. 100%.
Maybe that's something that you could like maybe.
It's definitely before this whole thing happened. She was definitely in my.
Oh really? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You should probably explore that.
100%.
The question about this latest record, this scratch record you haven't dropped yet. Does it have and fresh?
Always, man. I mean, I I know it's so divisive, right?
Dude, I'm so like every.
You're so over it.
Yeah, like every video from NAMM this year.
Oh, it's always.
It was like just the awe.
Yeah.
I'm just like. Okay,
well, you know what though,
so
I get it too, and I'm definitely guilty of like it's my. I think it's the. I'm trying to think of a good. I love to speak in analogies, but. And there's probably a good analogy that just escapes me now, but it's like the barometer by which to measure a scratch DJ. It's just a sound that is long enough, because short sounds you're limited in terms of like what you can do on fader stuff, right? And so the nice thing about is that it's not a crescendo either. It's just like a straight like the same volume the whole time.
Yep.
And it's almost a full rotation of the record, right? So that's the real reason, at least from my perspective, on why people like it. I never liked fresh, for what it's worth. I didn't even put that on, because it doesn't follow that same.
Yeah.
It goes fresh, and it's like the in between is a little weird.
The tail end of it has that.
And that's what people cut. If you just took the and just did
F. Like
people do that, but a lot
like
more
old
people
school.
catch the tail end.
Yeah, the
than
tail
do
end when it goes really fresh, like that. The end of fresh,
because it's long, like long
white noise.
scratches that have like the white noise vibe are the things that turntablists kind of gravitate towards.
So it's just like a soundscape.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But phrasing, honestly, to answer your question, what I always try to do is do new, unique phrases. So given I did radio for so long, I have a fucking inordinate amount of like rare 12 inches with, guess what, acapellas. You can probably find a lot of the shit online, but some of it you can't, and so I just kind of go through my collection and I'm listening to it. It takes a ton of time.
I know.
And kind of curate, holy shit, listen to this phrase, and try to turn it into something, that people would use, and
which
either
people don't account for. People on the outside, if they want to look in, they don't account for how much time we have spent as DJs listening.
Yeah.
Not practicing, not playing.
Oh my God, prepping for a
Fishing
gig
and
all that, that's
listening.
all like,
I mean, it would take me sometimes a half dozen times to understand where all the breaks were.
You know,
Now,
that's the thing about you guys. Like, you know,
yeah, it's just
you guys are like adept at that, to be able to do what y'all do. You know, I have the utmost respect. The fact that you guys are doing this with the frequency that you are, and you got to keep it fresh, right? And you got to know your stuff. And that right there takes a ton of time. Yes, you know, and that's part of the reason why I don't play out anymore. Because of that, like if people don't realize you don't just show up to the gig and like, all right, let me rock. It's like, you know, like you got to know and research and that takes time.
Yeah. I mean,
it takes a lot of time.
Yeah. A lot of the lifting as far as I'm just speaking for myself is just being in touch, just having my ear to the ground on what's like happening, you know? I will forever, you know, love, you know, 80s, 90s hip hop and R&B and all sorts of stuff, but you kind of have to be clued in on what's happening now. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, you just have to be able to adapt to a room.
Are you guys playing Golden?
What's up?
Or were you when it was popular? I don't even know if it is.
Golden? What's Golden?
The Huntrix or the K-pop Demon Hunter thing.
Oh,
no.
Well, it's interesting. I was DJing for
8-year-olds.
For a company for adult beverages. They were sponsoring this thing, and they're like, you know, we want you to play current hits, and I'm like, you know, there's no such thing as current hits.
I know
now.
that's why. I mean,
unless you want me to play K-pop, and they're like, no, and I'm like, well, let me do my thing, and if you want to talk some more, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And then they never got back to me.
See, that's the thing. So I want to talk about that for just a second. Is and this is actually, in addition to the like y'all having to kind of know and just be, you know, ear to the street, so to speak. The thing that blows my mind that about today's audience, right, is that because I started to see this, I kind of stopped doing regular gigs probably right around when my daughter was kind of born, so 2017, 2018. I still do stuff periodically, but not anything to write home about. But I noticed a trend then that I can't even imagine, and you just kind of got into it a little bit, which is to say the requests and the sort of like, I don't know how, like the entitlement of like social media seems to have created this like, I'm a curator. And so people come to you, come to you and say, you know, I want to hear this and that or whatever. It's like, I don't give a fuck what you want to hear. This is like, you know, my platform, right? And that's the thing I just admire so much about y'all, because I can't imagine that it's that it's trivial. You know?
Yeah, we have touched on this subject before on other episodes. Yeah, and it's tough because, you know, we're living at a time where, you know, there's the internet, there's streaming services. I think I think for some people now that they have a Spotify account, I think that, and they're making these playlists.
That's what I mean.
They automatically think that they're like a music expert.
Yeah.
And they, you know,
and now the Serato has integrated Spotify. Yeah. You can't say, wait, I don't have everything. Now they can be like,
I will never use that feature.
No, me neither.
It's tough because, you know, I have mentioned this in another podcast. There are people that are making music decisions that don't know much about music, or even know how to dance,
or reading what's going on in the room.
Yeah, you know? It's really tough.
And that is such a beautiful part of DJing that both of y'all are adept at. You know what I mean? Like, I've witnessed both of you guys I feel like it's a lost skill, you know.
Well, people just talking to each other seems to be the conversation.
Well, I don't go out, so I don't really know. I mean, I talk to an 8-year-old.
You know,
and
there's
my
some people
wife.
that still understand how to move in this world in that regard. But I think
people just on their phones and stuff when they're out?
Well, and it's starting to really affect the brain function of just connection.
Really,
and looking up sometimes instead of down all the time. You know, it's it's something that, I mean, time will tell to see where it goes.
Are we going to start watering plants with Mountain Dew? Is that kind of where we're going?
But
President Camacho. I mean, we pretty much have him right now.
I mean, the technical barrier.
Mountain Dew. It's what
entry.
Plants crave. Exactly. That's what it feels like. That's where we are. Yeah. Oh my God! Sorry.
Drinking Slurpees. That's my meal number 3. But yeah, I mean, who knows? But I feel like there will always be people who want some sort of goal to make. And if it is in the creative realm, they want to accomplish that goal so that they can feel fulfilled. And a lot of musicians are sticking to that. A lot of creatives are sticking to that. The people on the outside will learn what their tempo is in life to know that not everything's transactional.
Yeah.
So he was saying to me in a conversation a while ago, he's like, I bet there's going to be a ton of controllers at the Goodwill in like 5 years.
I mean, when the DJ, bubble bursts, you will see a ton of controllers like at Goodwills and landfills and stuff like that. Yeah. But, just the struggle of like doing you and being yourself when you do DJ. I do occasionally maybe have to struggle with that a little bit. But I think that I've been afforded the opportunity to just produce my own events.
Well, you have put in so much work, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's not an opportunity that you got afforded. That's an opportunity. I mean, I don't mean to argue with you about it, but you fucking busted your ass to create a name for you yourself.
I appreciate that.
Much respect to you for that. You know what I mean? And so actually, that's the. You kind of set the blueprint, I think, for a lot of us in terms of that, man. Like, you know what I mean? It's not about taking or like just like asking someone to give you a platform. You create, you know what I mean? Like you just said, you create your own event, you do your own thing. And that is, man, it's super inspirational. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you feel the same way.
Well, thanks
about him.
Thanks.
Thanks. Absolutely.
No, thank you for the kind words. But, with the events that I do throw, that I am able just to do me.
Yeah.
So I'm not. There's not this struggle or tug of war game with the audience. And myself, right? The crowds that do go to my events. They're older, and so they're our age, and they all went out, around the time when, there was no social media. That was at a time when.
How do you think it is? And I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm just. And I sincerely apologize. I know I completely agree with you, but what I'm curious about is what it's like for the people that play. What's the crowds like out right now?
I mean, I'm not out there like that, so I really can't. I really can't. I mean, I kind of know, but then again, I don't know. But I can only speak from my experience and from what I'm doing now. Is that I think the crowd there, they know what to expect. I think they go there because all right. I mean, I hate saying this, but because I feel weird saying this, but
they know who you are, man. They know what to expect. Yeah. But you guys have paid your dues, both of y'all, in that regard, right? And the gigs that you get. I mean, I remember example, speaking of residencies, this wasn't a residency. I got it whenever you weren't DJing, was Malverde, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I'll take those table scraps. That's fun, know, because you curated a thing there that I was able to step into. Yeah. I guess what I'm curious about is how, like, this is rare. Y'all are rarefied air is my point, like, and well-deserved, but I'm curious what it's like for the cats that are playing at fucking, I mean,
I've seen like
Dirty Bills or whatever it is, if that's even still open.
It just depends. It's very dependent on a lot of elements. But I feel like for me, just because I've seen some of that stuff, and I have to be really picky about what I say yes to.
Yeah.
Because I did say yes to an old acquaintance. I DJ'd at his bar, and it was wild because it wasn't the crowd that I was used to for so many years. The crowd was probably at least 10 years younger than me, so mid-30s, and they did not dance. In fact, very self-conscious of letting loose. Maybe someone will record them, so they were maybe paranoid of someone like making fun of them on TikTok or whatever. At my age, I don't care. Record me all you want. I don't even look at TikTok. And those people will forget that I made those funny moves, on a Wednesday night. They're not going to remember that. And also, like, when I was setting up, one guy was like, do you have a mic? And I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, I just lost a bet with my friend, and I need to like say a couple jokes on stage. So do you, it was just like so out of touch. I'm like, do you know that I'm setting up? There was no
See, I guess
awareness is just like my space is your space. There's no space.
Yeah. It's like
all space. It's just
social
like,
media.
wow.
I think has created a lot of that.
Yes,
Like
it's a strange.
I guess the part of the reason why I asked that question to begin with is like we got to where we got to, and each of us is at a different place in our lives and stuff. But it's because we were able to cut our teeth at these like shitty bars and things like that.
Yeah,
and I just feel like, is there any fucking opportunity for that?
No, I think it's completely different now.
So we're never gonna have people that are like.
I think it's on the strength of social media. I think that's what it is.
That's fucking sad. Like that's shout out to the Beat Junkies. That's why Beat Junkies Institute of Sound. I mean, I love that Rhett and Babs did that because like that addresses kind of what I guess I'm inquiring about is like how can somebody who's younger, 18, 16, 20, where do they go? Do they do a boiler room set or what do they cut their teeth? Fucking do?
They cut their teeth.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I think a lot of. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, I mean, there forever until from now until the end of time. Yeah, we will have DJs playing at bars. And I think it's still the same. But also, when we're also at a time when EDM is like huge.
Yeah.
So, all the kids and the younger folks that consume music, they're drawn to that now, right? The way I look at, like someone who's playing in a bar that is very well versed in music and does it very seamlessly and kind of reads the room and can create a vibe without beating your head over like with bangers is I look at that as a documentary, right? the big the big ass EDM shows that you see at the Concourse, project, right? That's the name of the place. The big EDM shows. Yeah. It's like a blockbuster movie. You know what I mean? You are going there to watch a blockbuster movie with all the pyro and all the, the CO2 and all the visuals on the LED screens.
Yeah.
And it's basically, it's like a blockbuster movie, but it's also like a sonic roller coaster where there's all these builds and drops and it just goes all over the place. And it's like
So do you think people go from like bedroom DJ straight to that?
No. I don't think so.
Because I was just thinking, we were talking about Plush, for example, right? And like, I don't know exactly where that was in your trajectory, right, of like your DJ career, but I would say from my perspective, observing you there, that like you I wouldn't say cut your teeth because obviously you were doing your thing well before that, but it was like it was an avenue to make Mel's name bigger and more respected in the scene, right? And in the same way that you could say that for Odeon and like maybe Creekside or Peligrosa, and you know what I mean? Like these kind of things.
Right.
And so my point is like, is that still going on in some sense, or is
I think it's still going on.
We just don't know about it. Or
every bar has a DJ, so they, DJs have to start somewhere, right? Also, it's a producer's game, right? Like there's guys who, I've seen it time and time again.
Where their set is produced, they make the.
Well, no, it's not that, but just like you and I have had discussions about just me, being part of a team that runs a big EDM stage,
right.
In Chicago at Lala, and I've been doing it since 2008, and I've seen so many guys that come out of nowhere that are huge
on that stage.
And then they're gone.
But that's what I was saying before. That's what I was saying before. Is like, is it like straight from bedroom to like that,
it's like I think it's them producing music.
Oh, and then thinking they can be a DJ.
And then they become popular, and then maybe they kind of DJ, right?
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And then they become DJs.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the game is different. I think what has always been true is even more so now because it's always been a producer's game. Even back in the day,
of course.
Where if you are like producing music, you can, and you become popular as a producer, you can become a DJ. Well,
that's literally what happened with Bird Peterson, for example. Yeah. Like he was producing remixes, and I vividly remember this. I think it was Besso or maybe Whiskey Bar on Fifth, I walked by because he was like really big online and on the blogs and everything. I'm like, man,
yeah, he was all over the Hollow board.
And I like went in and it was like nobody in there. And I'm like, dude, I'm so excited to meet you, man. And you know, and then look at him now. He's like, you know, he's like almost fully a DJ as opposed to where he was.
Interesting.
And so he kind of made, I mean, he's an amazing producer as well, but like, I think that's an example of, and that makes sense to me, you know, that makes total sense. But I guess I was just curious, right? Like, are there any kind of like, I don't want to say rags to riches, but like how do people come up in the game? Like, how does that?
I think it's that. I think, like I said, social media and the internet, streaming is a big deal. Like if you, I mean, of course I was on Twitch a lot during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I actually, you know, DJ'd on Twitch just recently. But you know, when you go onto the Twitch homepage, the sidebar of it, you see all these other DJs that are online, you know,
and there's a lot of them,
and there's a number of like how many people are watching them, and it's all DJs, tons of them.
Wow. Okay.
There's like DJs I've never heard of that have like a few thousand watching them.
Wow.
You know, it's really interesting. You know, the other night, the last time I was on Twitch just to watch, you know, DJs, all at the same time. It was DJ Spinna.
Okay.
Melody.
Wow, yeah, he's incredible, dude.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my favorite DJs. That guy's fucking bananas.
He's a god, and I look up to that guy. But I think that's also another avenue. So
that's a good point. Yeah, the mediums are way more expanded now.
Yeah, it's just a different day and age. You know what I mean? I mean, dude, grinding it out at a club, that'll never go away, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think what it is maybe people's expectations now. You know what I mean? Maybe they.
I guess more so what I was kind of keying into is not that I didn't or wasn't aware of the things you're mentioning, but more so all of the things you mentioned as like a other side of the coin, right? Like Twitch, streaming, and yada, 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 Instagram Reels, whatever it is. That's not like really interacting with humans, and you don't get the immediate feedback. So like it's a different. Like, how do you get to the point? Like, I mean, because you've been on big stages, and both of y'all have been on tremendous in front of hundreds of thousands of people, right? It's a different, and I've never been in front of that big of a crowd, but it's way different to like, you know, do a live stream, or what I would say is more analogous to like making a mixtape or being on the radio, and you don't see the audience. Like, I get it. I mean, but how do you condition yourself as a DJ for the sort of main event of playing for people in person?
It's second nature now. What would be alien would be streaming. I'm like, who's out there?
I know y'all are, but I'm saying like as a young person, they're going the other way, right?
That's
here's
right.
the thing.
They're cutting their teeth on all this other shit, and then they get thrown into, and I think that's why we see this garbage shit in like boiler rooms and stuff like that, is because they have never like cut their teeth in real life, man.
I mean, there's that, but if you have developed and built like this huge following online, like whether it's on Twitch or whatever, and they come out to see you, it doesn't matter. I mean, you could play. You could play whale noises for 4 hours, and it wouldn't matter. I mean, because you definitely have those fans now, and you know, it's not like this hardcore turn. Like that's the thing. It's not like back in the day when people were listening, like, I don't know. It's just different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I probably sound so stupid even asking the question.
It's not.
Maybe we edit that part out. Like, dude, this is Grandpa Knack over here asking this.
Things have changed very quickly.
Yeah, it's just different. It's for better or for worse. You know, it's just different now. You know, and so I have definitely, you know, have kind of chilled out and have kind of, you know, I've told myself, hey, dude, what the ethos behind your DJing and what you think is important in DJing. Now
we talked about that. Other people don't necessarily.
It's not important to them. You know what I mean? Especially in
your core audience, it is, but maybe not the the newer kind of like what we're talking about.
But then in this day and age when DJing is everywhere, right?
Yeah.
It's not really that important. Everyone definitely has like their own like idea of what DJing should be, and whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever you believe now may not be important 10 years from now. You know what I mean? Maybe you're not even a DJ 10 years from now. I mean, I mean, who knows? You know, like it's like that saying, the cream rises to the top. And I truly believe that, you know, but it's, you know, I'm not mad at anyone trying to be a DJ and trying to learn or whatever, because all three of us in this room had that moment where like, I'm curious about this and I want to try.
That's the key thing to me is like when you watch a DJ, for me personally, and I'm pretty sure y'all would agree, it doesn't matter to me what the medium is that they're playing on. CDJs, controllers. I mean, we could go through a whole thing, but I just want to be, from my perspective, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you have a hunger and a passion for music, because I've seen some incredible skills on all of those different things. And I've also seen horrible skills on turntables. And like, if you're up there for the wrong reasons and doing it, it'll just shine through. And like, that's always been the case. I think it's just now the barrier to entry these days is so low that we have this proliferation of it. But I would never judge somebody young or old that's brand new into it. That's like, and they might not be great, but they fucking love it. And you can tell. Yeah.
And they might be great that next year because they keep trying.
And that's kind of where I was going with how do they get to that in this day and age?
Everybody's so different.
Right. And to put a bow on this whole thing, this discussion, is that you never know. That one kid that you saw that was just kind of like messing up or whatever, a year from now will vastly
will be on stage at Lala.
You know what I mean? It could be kind of like the info thing. That whole story where, you know, at first you see this kid trying to scratch or DJ and he's kind of like, whatever. And then a year later, you know, after he's been locked in his bedroom for a year, it's like night and day. And he's just basically shitting on everybody else. He's so good.
Yeah, and I think it's also like kind of having that discernment. Like if you are really passionate about X, Y, or Z, you have that discernment of who to attach yourself to. Because if it's only transactional, you're saying yes to all these things maybe, and you just don't really go anywhere. You know, you have to have that like
people see that
critical like lane where it's going to carry you through, even though it might take longer or there's not enough fanfare during the whole thing. So it's just being tenacious and still remaining
very selective. That's a good point. You have to be selective and you have to curate. You have to, a great leader once told me, when I have to remind myself this all the time, like, know how you show. It's basically that, right? It's like, know how you show up to other people. That's self-awareness, right? Which really can be affected by who you, to your point, tie yourself to, you know?
And sometimes we make mistakes of who we say yes to.
But
then that
you
just
pivot,
speeds up the next chapter.
That's right.
I truly believe, you know, whether it's DJing or just life, I mean, for every L that I take is one step closer to where I need to be. Right? I mean, that's basically the words that I live by. And I have to remind myself whenever, you know, if something doesn't work out.
Because the inverse isn't really an option, right? Unless you're just hanging it up, you know, which seems a little premature. You know what I mean? So
we were talking retirement yesterday.
I
mean, retirement from the things. I would like to retire from like work. Not from the things you love. You know? I know. My God.
We could talk about DJing for hours and hours and hours. Nick, thank you so much for being generous with your time.
Thank you for having me.
Let the listeners know where they can find you online.
Crowdcontrolrecords.com. I know that's a mouthful and a lot of typing. I wish I could have gotten like a shorter URL, but or DJ NickNack, DJ NickNack, on Instagram. I have Facebook. I don't really do it as much anymore.
That's okay.
Tired of the sort of
we
confirmation bias echo chamber of that. So I'm kind of
I have
like,
not been on Facebook for years.
I go to Facebook Marketplace. You and I have nerded out about that.
We can go, guys. Don't get me started on
shit all the time.
Okay,
I'm selling some wheels right now. If you're interested in any wheels, hit me up on Facebook Marketplace. I got a dude this morning that I need to check
like
out.
turntable wheels or cars?
Car wheels.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we're about to wrap this up, but I will say this: Facebook Marketplace is by far the most interesting place on the internet.
Is it still available?
What? Oh yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah.
There's a fucking button for it. It's asked so much. I'm like,
dude, it's so.
I love people's posts. They're like, if you ask me, is it still available? I'm gonna ask you, when are you gonna pick it up? And I'm like, there's a thing I wanted from some dude. And I was gonna go, is it still available? When are you gonna pick it up? And I was gonna go, 5 p.m. good for you?
Yeah.
Just like start the interaction off like that.
Just the most random things ever there.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
You can find some deals though.
Yeah.
You really can, you know,
Yeah.
and that's what sucks though is when you have a good price and people are like,
I know it.
just half off. Would you take, for example, real quick, I have these, by the way, there's this auction site and I can't remember the name of it. It's like old stuff from like various schools. It's like UT has their stuff on there. It's called like UT Surplus or something like that.
Yes, that's a great place.
Bro.
You can get old
But it's
UT
not
cars.
just UT. It's like so like they have everything from like, I think you can even buy cattle on there, to be honest with you. They literally have like tractors and fucking like,
yeah.
But UT has like a surplus room, for example. They sell a bunch of old shit.
I've been there.
Audio. I got on it because they had some old 4-track stuff from the communications building. And I was like, oh man, you know. But anyways, I got suckered into buying something from A&M that I had to drive. And I got a ticket on the way out there to get this shit. And, but it was clamps for woodworking, like these really expensive ones, dirt cheap. And this dude had a thing to like hang like leftover wood. It was like this like metal like shelving thing, and he just threw it in. And I speaking of not hanging shit up, that's been with me for like 8 years. I've done shit with it,
right?
And I'm like, I'm getting rid of this shit, you know. And I put it on Facebook Marketplace, $40. Would you take $20 for it? This dude was in like Jarrell, Texas. He goes, "Hey man, I'm in Jarrell." I mean, I'm just imagining that's how he sounds.
Yeah.
I'm in Jarrell. And oh my God, by the way, he messaged me and was like, "I fucking told you to blah, 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 blah." And then I go, excuse me. He goes, "Oh shit, wrong chat." You know, he was like yelling at some lady and he's like, how embarrassing. I'm in Jarrell. Can I come and get this fucking thing? And I said, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. Like just the way he was acting, yelling at whoever, I was just like, I think I'm going to sell it to somebody else. You know, it's like, I don't really want to see you in person. Like, if you're going to act like that, like,
Sure.
What the fuck? Who are you, man?
Yeah.
Am I going to get murdered selling this $40 thing? You know?
Yeah, that's weird about, you know, Facebook Marketplace transactions. Also Craigslist transactions. Very sketch.
Yeah. No, you got to meet up in a public place.
Yeah. So with that said, you know, Nick.
Yeah, sorry for dragging it on.
No, man. Once again, let them know.
This is
where
how him and I talk so long.
I
It never ends.
I know.
Wait, hold on. One more thing before I let you go.
I know. One more time. Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah. Sorry. Crowdcontrolrecords.com and probably easiest DJ Nack, DJ Knack on Instagram.
Make some noise for DJ NickNack, everybody.
Thank you.
Producer
Thanks,
of our
Nick.
theme song at the beginning, at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Every episode.
Yep.
NickNack, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
That's
Appreciate
good.
you all.